this fight, I got the edge everywhere it goes. Stand-up or ground, grappling, wrestling, clinch, everywhere I'm better than Fabricio Werdum.
Tonight is for sure an amazing fight. I want to beat Alistair Overeem for the next step. I want to fight the title shot.
This is the best I've ever looked, and I'm going to go in there and expect to put on the best show of my career. So if y'all can handle that, let's see.
Bueno, esto es una pelea, la grande, es la que estamos esperando, es la que se estaba esperando, la que se estaba trabajando por todos estos largos años, así que estamos de fiesta.
Man, is it good to be back in the fight capital of the world tonight. The MMA leader has set up shop just off the Vegas Strip as we close out International Fight Week 2017. Live inside the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas, Nevada, USA. This is UFC 213, Romero versus Whittaker, sponsored by Budweiser. This Bud's for you. Closed captioning is available for tonight's telecast. Tonight's broadcast is available in 100% Spanish, brought to you by UFCEspanol.com. What a week it has been here in Las Vegas, and the best is still to come. I'm John Anik. Thank you all for being with us tonight for UFC 213. So 2016 truly was the year of Amanda Nunes. Unfortunately, 2017 not off to a great start for the UFC Women's Bantamweight Champion. Tonight, she was to put her belt on the line in a rematch with Valentina Shevchenko. Last night, earlier today, Nunes fell ill. Unfortunately, she will not be able to make the walk here tonight. That said, still thrilled to share this space tonight with the legend Joe Rogan, the greatest living American Brian Stann. I guess so it goes in the fight game. Still a very disappointing reality for us to lose the main event here tonight.
Yeah, I mean, that's the only way to describe it. So it goes. It's just an unfortunate turn of events, and really unfortunate because I believe that that was the most advanced women's MMA matchup ever. I think these two women represent the pinnacle of the current state of the art in women's MMA fighting. They're both so well-rounded, both devastating strikers, both outstanding on the ground. One day, we'll see it another day.
And hopefully in the not-too-distant future. The good news is the deck is stacked here tonight in this UFC Interim Middleweight Championship between Yoel Romero and Robert Whittaker. Really as good, Brian, a fight as we can put on paper. Certainly worthy of this bump up to the headliner tonight.
Absolutely. I mean, you've got a brilliant, fast, quick middleweight in Robert Whittaker taking on, in my opinion, Yoel Romero. This is the best argument for human cloning that I've ever seen, all right? This guy is a specimen. Olympic silver medalist in wrestling, but when you're in the octagon with him, you are always in danger of him finishing you. I don't care if it's a punch, an elbow, a flying knee. No matter where he is, I don't care what the scorecards say. This man can explode and end you in that octagon. He is the scariest dude on this UFC roster, and he is only getting better each time we see him in the octagon.
But Robert Whittaker is also only getting better, and he has outstanding classic martial arts skills, excellent kickboxing, knockout power, and he is very motivated and very hungry coming into this fight. At 26 years of age. This guy, the sky is the limit. He has real championship potential, and he will be tested tonight against the freak of all freaks in Yoel Romero.
That's a good way to describe him. And for Robert Whitaker, you mentioned on the prelims, Joe, the championship confidence was there in the Jacare Souza fight. We'll see if it is there tonight against Yoel Romero. So co-main event now will be the rubber match between Fabricio Verdum and Alistair Overeem. Number 1 versus number 3 in the heavyweight division. High stakes here.
And arguably the greatest submission artist in the history of the UFC versus the greatest striker in the history of the UFC. Alistair Overeem, former K1 Grand Prix champion, which is as good as it gets in kickboxing. The former Strikeforce champion, the former Dream champion, and one of the most devastating strikers I've ever had the privilege of watching and calling fights. But he's taking on a guy in Fabricio Verdum whose submission skills are outstanding and whose striking has really come up.
It certainly has, Joe. In the last 3 years, Fabricio Verdum with the movement to Kings MMA, training under Rafael Cordero, man, his combinations have become a thing of beauty. It has really complemented his beautiful grappling so well to where now he's a dual threat to finishing. He can finish you on the feet at any moment like you see here against the great Mark Hunt, or on the ground, he can finish you with submissions. He's got power in his hands. He really believes that his striking will be a great tool for him tonight. He's not afraid to strike with the great Alistair Overeem, and if the fight can go on the ground, obviously, he's got a big advantage.
And Overeem still has the itch, still excited for this, his 59th pro MMA fight. All right, with that, let's get to the rules of the Octagon. 3 judges score the bout. The bout duration is 3 5-minute rounds. For championship fights and all main events, we will go 5 5-minute rounds. A 10-point must-scoring system is in effect. Round winner gets 10 points. His or her opponent 9 or fewer. And scoring is based on effective striking and grappling, followed by aggression, and then Octagon control in that order. Well, before we get going, figured we should probably let you know the Nevada State Athletic Commission has yet to adopt the new unified rules for 2017 that you have seen in other markets. So we're a little bit confused, but those changes we can tell you not in effect here tonight. The fighters have been made aware. All right, as we get ready, guys, for our first fight here, quick look at the bottom 2/3 of this UFC bantamweight division. Rob Font has crashed the rankings party. He will look to continue his ascent here tonight as he takes on Douglas Silva de Andrade.
Yeah, and Rob Font is an outstanding striker. He's got real one-punch knockout power, and this is a fight that was supposed to be his UFC debut.
Right, exactly.
It's rescheduled here for tonight. They liked it then, they like it now, and of course, you're looking at just a murderer's row at 135 pounds.
135 has never been stronger, so much so that Douglas Silva de Andrade 24-1 outside the top 15 looking in. We'll see if he can change that here tonight to kick off the pay-per-view main card. Well, defense may be a second thought when proven bantamweight finishers Rob Font and Douglas Silva de Andrade face off tonight here in Las Vegas, Nevada. Originally scheduled to fight back in 2014, bantamweights Rob Font and Douglas Silva de Andrade have traveled different paths in the ensuing 3 years. But tonight, they will finally face each other in the octagon with a lot on the line for both fighters.
You know, I'm definitely looking to try to put the pressure on Douglas tonight. It's a big octagon, but I'm trying to cut it off and put my hands on him.
Essa luta com o Rob Font, acredito que é uma explosão total, entendeu? De grande imagem aí de visibilidade, uma boa imagem aí de show aí pro evento.
Brazilian veteran Douglas Silva de Andrade came to the UFC with plenty of experience and knockout power in his hands. And though he lost his debut, since then, wins over Cody Gibson and Henry Briones have him thinking big in a wide-open bantamweight division.
Quando eu nocautear, a mensagem que eu vou passar é de sempre pedir maiores desafios, lutas melhores.
The night Rob Font was supposed to face Silva de Andrade, the New Englander instead got George Roop. And what followed was a devastating knockout win that earned him a Performance of the Night bonus and kicked off a UFC career that has led him back to Vegas tonight.
Definitely looking for that finish. I'm looking for that bonus, and I'm trying to climb that ranking, so watch out for me. Definitely coming.
So here's the Brazilian Douglas Silva de Andrade, 24-1 with 1 no contest. Brian, you just don't see records like that in mixed martial arts. We'll see what he can do tonight in what is the biggest fight of his UFC career.
Interesting you say that. His opponent, Rob Font, thinks it's a boxing record, thinks he's got a very padded record. But I'll tell you what, despite all the experience he has, I've seen some real growth in Andrade's game. You look back at his fight against Cody Gibson, there were a lot of tells in his striking. Anytime he wanted to throw hard, he loaded up, dropped his hands, stood tall. Tells that you could really capitalize on. But one fight ago, his last fight against Henry Briones, that was gone. He was more diverse, he was more fluid, really fought a much better fight, and showed that he could put the pedal down and push through in a high-paced fight there in round 3 to get the win that he needed.
Injuries have been part of the narrative when it comes to Douglas Silva de Andrade. When he fought Henry Briones last November, he did so having returned from a 21-month layoff, multiple surgeries for the same injury, but full bill of health tonight. We'll see if Silva de Andrade can come through as the underdog. So nearly 3 years to the day that he was to make his UFC debut against Douglas Silva de Andrade. Here is Rob Font, currently ranked number 15 in the world, Joe, and for my money, maybe a dark horse in this bantamweight division.
He is a talented kid, and he's a smart kid. One of the things that you gotta like about Rob Font is his his cage IQ. What he's able to do is find moments to explode, drop real clean shots in, and that's what we saw in George Roop. George Roop is a difficult guy to get in on. He's really tall and long, and he's an excellent striker himself. And Rob Font landed a bomb on him to start off his UFC career. This is a fight that they think is going to really be able to highlight the technique and the talent of Rob Font. It's a fight they liked for his debut, and they really like it now that he's gotten his feet wet in the UFC, he's gotten comfortable in the octagon, and he's got a full camp to prepare for this. Mark Delagrate, his coach at Sityodtong Tong in Massachusetts, is a big believer in this kid.
He actually said this is the most talented guy he's ever trained, and he doesn't say that lightly. He's trained some studs. They actually let me get a look at their notes for this fight. They had 2 pages of what their strategy was going to be, both the strengths and weaknesses of Andrade, and then exactly what they wanted Rob Font to do. Early, fight long, own the center, force sloppy entries by Andrade, which will create openings for Font to either take him down or land that big right hand he has.
Rob Font also said he sees some comparables between Douglas Silva de Andrade and John Lineker, the only man to beat Rob Font inside the octagon. He felt like he made a few mistakes that night, and he has shored up those weaknesses, and he plans to make Silva de Andrade pay here tonight. Our Tale of the Tape is brought to you by Performance Inspired, the all-natural high-performance line of sports nutrition trusted by athletes and health enthusiasts. Visit pi-nutrition.com. Rob Font, 30 years old. Silva de Andrade is 32. Font, 1 inch taller. He weighed in 135 pounds, 134 for Silva de Andrade. Rob Font has the 3-inch reach advantage. All right, now to get the main card introductions going, here's Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are live from the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas for UFC 213, Romero versus Whitaker, presented by Budweiser. This buzz for you. And now, this fight is 3 rounds in the UFC Bantamweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, a mixed martial artist holding a professional record, 24 wins, 1 loss, 1 no contest. He stands 5 feet 7 inches tall, weighing in at 135 pounds. Fighting out of Castelão, Pará, Brazil, Douglas da Silva de Andrade. And now introducing his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, a striker holding a professional record, 13 wins, 2 losses. He stands 5 feet 8 inches tall, weighing in at 134 pounds. Fighting out of Woburn, Massachusetts, Rob Font. And when the action begins, our referee in charge, Mark Smith.
Mark Smith draws the assignment here. The beautiful Brooklyn is with us tonight on pay-per-view. Glad you are too. As we get ready to kick things off here in the UFC's Bantamweight division. Ariane, Brittany, Chrissy, Vanessa also on hand. Rob Font, the number 15 ranked bantamweight in the world, taking on Douglas Silva de Andrade. Font is in black. Silva de Andrade is in yellow, and we are underway. The fight clock brought to you by Budweiser. This bud's for you.
I like how he compared Silva de Andrade to Lineker, because one thing that they share in common is they both load up. They're both powerful guys that, especially sometimes you can see the shots coming, but people can't seem to get out of the way.
Absolutely, and you know, when you look at that fight against Lineker, Rob Font fought that entire fight on his heels. You know, really, the moment was just too big for him then. He's much better, much more confident now, and you can see him being a lot more assertive here to start this round. Everything Andrade throws is heavy, Bill. Beautiful timing on that double leg.
Yeah, outstanding.
When he really lifted that right leg high, put it on his hip, but man, Andrade is strong. Look how quickly he gets his hips back under him to pop up.
Yeah, very strong, and Rob Font looks like he's ready to time that knee. Look at this. Andrade dropped down. He dropped down like he was looking for a leg lock, but was not in the proper position to try to execute that. That's a weird thing that he just did.
Costly error. Again, you know, something you see in the gym and you could pull off maybe on guys that aren't this level, but not here.
But his movement was restricted because they were up against the cage.
When this is an area of Font's game that has continuously grown. You saw in his last fight against Matt Schnell, he looked absolutely fantastic on the ground with his transitions. Works very hard on his grappling.
Yeah, Andrade's moved back to full guard, but you could see that he was, in fact, hunting for a leg lock. You could see he was trying to get an underhook on one of those legs, but Rob Font stuffed it. But you see in these scrambles, look for de Andrade to try to go under the legs of Rob Font. Rob looking for a guillotine here, and he's got a hold of the neck.
He's under the chin. He's going to go for the high elbow here, and it's a great spot. He could trap the guy's hips against the fence, but he loses it.
Good transition, though, in the scramble. Threw a good combination there. Missed with that head kick.
I love that, though, when guys fight in the in-between phases of the sport. Sometimes that's an opportunity for guys to break and take a rest. Font used it to strike.
Under 3 minutes here to go in round one. Let's listen into the red corner, Mark Delagrati.
Rob, we need to straighten out that right hand.
Rob, pace yourself. Pace yourself. Conserve your energy appropriately. Let's be intelligent. You got to lead off with a fake. You can't just throw blind. Give me something before you fire.
Yeah, good feints, make him react.
Step off with the zigzag, switches, get fun. The step off's there. Step off the lazy jab.
Makes me want to do the rest of the broadcast in a Boston accent. Just over 2 minutes here to go round one.
Good movement by Font. Notice how he's just getting just out of the way.
Smooth.
Nice uppercut and a beautiful knee as well.
Stop! Time! Go right there. Go right there.
Pausing the action due to an eye poke.
You good?
Regardless, a gorgeous combination from Rob Font. He's just so smooth.
Stay there.
Looks like Mark Smith's going to call in the RP here.
Finger to the left eye.
Wow. Looks like as he's pushing off.
You good? Okay, go right there.
Right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, right at the end there, looks like it's scraped against the eye.
Hey, Rob, stay there. Stay there. Rob, when you're coming in, you got to keep clenched fists or fingers up, okay? You understand? All right. Time in. Fight.
2 minutes, Rob. 2 minutes, Rob.
Ooh, nice job by Silva de Andrade to split that guard of Rob Font.
And that's one of the things he showed in his last fight against Briones. He was just more creative. Spinning back elbow, spinning back fist. But really, he's just going second too often here in the first round against Font.
It has been a constant evolution for Rob Font. Last time out last December.
Kick to the body there.
This is a plus athlete, Rob Font. Excellent footwork, switching up the stances here a little bit.
Both of these guys very athletic, but Font really putting things together well. And Andrade just seems very hesitant tonight.
Woo! Caught him with that left.
Yeah, that might have been his most significant strike of the fight.
Important for Font not to let him gain his confidence back. You get someone on their heels, keep them there. Keep them reacting to you.
Silva de Andrade has never been finished. A perfect 2-0 since dropping down to 135 pounds. Ooh. Counter knee is clean for Font.
I tell you, Andrade landed a nice left hook there, but I'm impressed with Font's ability to roll with the punch and immediately counter.
20 seconds, Rob.
Good right hand over the top by Font.
That hurt him, Rob. That hurt him, Rob.
And Andrade is not having a whole lot of success fighting backwards right now. He's getting pushed around the octagon, constantly going second, eats a knee there. Now guillotine up his deep.
Very little time left here. Wow.
So the horn sounds indicating the end of round one. Tonight's Corner Cam is brought to you by Performance Inspired, the all-natural high-performance line of sports nutrition trusted by athletes and health enthusiasts. Visit pi-nutrition.com.
This water? Slow down. Slow everything down first, Rob, okay? Rob, you're so much better than this kid. Don't let him capitalize on stupid little mistakes. You're so much better than this kid. Don't
Campeão, veja bem. Você tem que movimentar e surpreender. Estamos movimentando pouco.
We're moving too much, not enough. Let's move and surprise.
Esse é o caminho.
That's the path. Let's try that combination that we practiced. You can't just kick. You have to jab and kick. And then throw the other hand.
Well, the wait is nearly over for Dana White's Tuesday Night Contender Series. It debuts in 3 days, July 11th on UFC Fight Pass. The new series set to feature 5 live fights each week with up-and-coming talent, also fighters looking to revive their careers. Dana White's Tuesday Night Contender Series all summer on UFC Fight Pass. Don't miss the live action this Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern. All right, second round here. Rob Font, Douglas Silva, Andrade, Bryan, Mark Delagrati, very urgent there after round one.
Yeah, they didn't want him to do anything stupid. So look, you're so much better than him. Don't be silly. Don't force him. I mean, honestly, there's a translation, obviously, so you could get some of that stuff lost. The corner of Andrade really gave him nothing. You know, hey, look, you need to move more. You need to throw punches before your kicks. That's all they gave him, and just not enough to get this kid back in the fight.
There were moments where I understood what Mark Delagrati was saying, where Rob seemed like he was forcing the action a little bit too much, wasn't hiding his intentions, and got caught with some leg kicks and a couple of good punches. But for the most part, I think when Rob is finding his groove, you see that. Like, as Silva de Andrade tries to connect, Font's just slightly out of the way, where he is finding much more success.
I mean, that's a beautiful exchange right there, where he's in range, he tags him, and as soon as Andrade looks to counter, he's already gone. And it just highlights the talent in this men's bantamweight division. It is quickly becoming one of my favorite divisions to call fights in, as these guys are so well-rounded and so technical.
And Font feels like he can hang with the top 5 right now. The onus on him to try to finish Douglas Silva de Andrade tonight as a 3-1 favorite.
Well, he doesn't want to get sloppy, because Andrade has some heat on everything he throws.
Oh, good left hand there by Font. He gets a kick to the body, partially blocked. Ooh, good leg kick there by Andrade, but good capitalizing by Font.
Everything Andrade does, you can see it in his eyes. I mean, he's second-guessing his techniques. He's not putting together, throwing one hard strike at a time.
Just missed on that uppercut as we hit the 3-minute mark in this second round of a possible 3.
Really like to see Andrade start feinting a little bit, go first, throw longer combinations, put together some hands before you throw that kick. Too much one and done. Ooh, there's a beautiful right hand, and he used the jab to set it up and clear the way.
Big right hand by Rob Font. Some swelling around that left eye of Silva de Andrade. She's starting to land a few shots here. You're right, Brian, it's one and done, but a few significant strikes landing here midway through round 2 for the Brazilian.
Well, everything he throws is hard, so if it lands, it's going to make an impact. Excellent job, just putting together his hands, following up with knees. A lot of diversity on the side of Rob Font.
Yeah, he's being very creative in there, and he's also recognizing when de Andrade is moving back, how he is leaving openings for different techniques like the knee. Good stiff jab there by Font.
Put the right hand behind that stiff jab. He's hurt, Rob. Rob, you just hurt him, Rob.
Mark Delagrati feels like they got him on the ropes.
Rob, that
don't know if Andrade is hurt, but you can definitely see the confidence draining out of him.
Oh, now he's hurt. Hand right. No question about that. Nice knee to the body as well.
Oh, the elbow, and I love that he goes to the body.
Now a takedown for Rob Font. After the onslaught on the feet, just over a minute to go here, round 2.
Andrade is still holding on to that neck. This leaves the opening for the Von Flue choke.
Work on top.
And surprised by the decision there, Font. I mean, he had him hurt on the feet, was going to the body well. I like that he's mixing things up there, but I think he would have been better off keeping that fight standing and hunting for the finish.
Silva de Andrade, not much of a submission threat, just one win by submission back in the day by rear naked choke.
Font's got the chin cupped right now, and he's searching for it. If Andrade comes up sloppy, see if Font can work a guillotine.
Still grounded.
You heard the referee Mark Smith telling Rob Font that Douglas Silva de Andrade is still a grounded opponent.
Oh, he's looking for the neck here. He gets slammed, but he's got the guillotine. He doesn't have a leg wrapped over the body, though. He got it. Beautiful.
Rob Font breaking out on pay-per-view, your winner by submission. And that is exactly what he needed here tonight as he continues his ascent up the bantamweight ranks. Beautiful horn-to-horn performance from Rob Font here tonight.
Andrade was a dangerous opponent, but it was the perfect opponent to showcase what Rob Font's capable of. That's why they wanted it for their UFC debut. That's why they're happy to take it tonight on pay-per-view.
This fight replay is brought to you by Budweiser. This Bud's for you.
And here's the big right that started all off. He caught him on the temple, the legs go out. They see him here, he's working for it, he gets slammed. He tries to get the leg over the top, can't do it, but now he's got half guard. He's digging deep with this, and Andrade taps. Very impressive and very technical victory for Rob Font.
I think that's a good way to put it. And for Rob Font, Brian, he has finished all 4 of his UFC wins. And again, he came in as a guy who had the confidence of a fighter who could beat the top 5 guys in the world. Again, another outstanding 135-pound fighter. B-Stan, hold that thought because Bruce Buffer has the official decision. Brought to you by Metro PCS, who brings you closer than ever to the UFC on a fast nationwide 4G LTE network. Here's Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Mark Smith has called a stop to this contest at 4 minutes, 36 seconds of round number 2. Declaring the winner by submission due to a guillotine choke, Rob Font.
I'm here with the winner, Rob Font. Rob Font showing a well-rounded game tonight. This is as smooth as you've ever looked inside the octagon against a very dangerous and a very powerful guy in Andrade. How happy are you with this pay-per-view performance?
Oh man, it's a great opportunity. You know, show I'm well-rounded, and I'm here to stay, and I'm here to compete.
Now, Mark Delagrate was telling you in between rounds that you are better than this guy, and don't let him hit you with anything that he shouldn't be. How did that affect you?
You know, I was giving him the opportunity to hit me. I should have never been there in the first place. But you know, I'm still feeling it out. I was trying to get my groove going, but you know, the performance went great, and I'm happy with the W.
You're so hyped up right now. Look at you. You can't even stand still. Take a look at the big screen and enjoy this. You caught him with this perfectly timed right hand. And this is really where you showed how well-rounded you are, because even though you had him hurt, once you got a hold of his neck, you recognized that you were in control there, and you're very confident in your guillotine.
Yeah, you know, I work a lot on that guillotine. I heard him like gagging right there. I was like, all right, just stay with it, just keep it. He's on the wrong side. Like I heard Anderson, my Brazilian jiu-jitsu coach, say don't let it go, and I knew we had it.
Beautiful performance tonight, Rob. Enjoy it. You let the world know how good you are. Can't wait to see you again. Rob Font, ladies and gentlemen.
All right, this. Rob Font goes to 14-2 with the win here tonight. This fight stat brought to you by Performance Inspired, the all-natural high-performance line of sports nutrition, trusted by athletes and health enthusiasts. Visit pi-nutrition.com. So for Rob Font, he gets his 4th finish, as I mentioned. as he gets his 4th UFC win, and that puts him in pretty heady company when it comes to the record books in this UFC bantamweight division.
Look for Rob Font to be running around the strip tonight, because I don't think he's going to be able to stand still. He's so amped up. He couldn't even stand still while I was talking to him.
And after a performance like that, who wouldn't be? That was some beautiful technique. Let's take another look at it. And really look how he set that up and really finished it in an unorthodox fashion. Take a look first. Here is where he's working to cup the hands under the chin and set it up. Now go ahead and run it. He knows Andrade is going to start to stand up here, and as he does, he's already working his hips in the right direction. Now go ahead and pause it here. Joe, as you mentioned, typically we see the guillotine finish with the leg around the back, but that doesn't happen here. He's instead going to relinquish that, and he's going to try and get his hips more in this direction to finish. Go ahead and run it. And he's going to use now his right leg. Pause it here. Look at where he's got his right foot here. He's using the right foot here to actually get the leverage he needs to get enough torque to finish it. That's really nice technique from Rob Font, who shows a very well-versed, well-rounded skill set again.
And that's confidence in that squeeze that he was willing to do that after he rocked the guy, hurt him. He didn't step back, didn't let him stand back up again. He took that opportunity and he crushed it.
Well, the legends are out tonight. There he is, the newly minted UFC Hall of Famer, Kazushi Sakuraba. A lot of comedic value to his induction speech as well. There's the welterweight contender, Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, also octagon side here tonight, as is El Cucuy, the UFC lightweight contender. Man wants a strap. We'll see when he gets his next fight assignment. Good night here in Las Vegas. UFC 213 is brought to you by Budweiser. This Bud's for you. By Metro PCS, who brings you closer than ever to the UFC on a fast nationwide 4G LTE network. By Performance Inspired, the all-natural high-performance line of sports nutrition trusted by athletes and health enthusiasts. Visit pi-nutrition.com. And by War for Planet of the Apes. Winner takes all this Friday. Only in theaters. The main event fighter arrivals are brought to you by Harley-Davidson. See your dealer today and learn to ride like some of your favorite UFC fighters with Harley-Davidson Riding Academy. Live your legend. And there he is, the soldier of God, Yoel Romero. An Olympic silver medalist in freestyle wrestling back in the year 2000. He has run roughshod through the UFC middleweight division, and tonight, at long last, he gets his chance to compete for a piece of the UFC gold. Also competing in his first UFC title fight, enter Australian sensation Robert Whittaker. Like Romero, he is perfect thus far at 185 pounds in the UFC, and tonight, with an entire region behind him, the Reaper looks to become Australia's first UFC champion.
You got your ass whipped today, buddy. He's looking at his superior, and he just can't handle it.
I'm excited to give him that hurt again.
DC, you suck.
Going back to his wife, family.
Remember what happened last time.
Stuck in months of misery for losing to me again.
As I started to go out and look at talent around the country, I started to realize how much talent there is. The level of athlete is getting better and better. This has never been done in the history of combat sports. We're literally going out there all over the world to try to find the next world champion.
Growing up in Waianae, Hawaii, you're always fighting, you know. I believe that God has put me on earth to be a champion one day.
My mom did a great job of raising 6 kids. Sometimes we didn't know if we were gonna have heat or not. Sometimes we didn't know if we were gonna have hot water or not. We got through it, and now I'm here fighting for them.
I have no idea how I was comfortable sleeping in the football field in Hamilton Park. I had bags of training clothes. I knew deep down, this is all gonna change.
I was diagnosed with leukemia when I was 2.5 years old. And I've always been a fighter. All I needed to ever do was show Dana that I deserve to be here.
I came from the bottom, clawing my way to the top.
This is everything I've been working for. I'm ready.
I was the little guy in a pretty rough neighborhood. I'm gonna achieve greatness, and this is just step one.
There's no denying that I should be in the UFC.
I fight for my kids.
I fight for my dreams.
I fight for the glory.
I fight for my kids, I fight for my family, and I fight to be the best in the world.
The only person I fear is my mom. I ain't fighting her, so we good. What's up, Dana? I hope you have that multi-fight deal for me, because I'm coming for the knockout.
If you know me, you know what I'm looking for. I'm looking for exciting fighters that go for broke and try to win.
I came from the jungle. I'm ready to be one of the top fighters in UFC.
I deserve the second chance. I belong in the UFC.
Who knows what's going to happen, but I'm in there to finish my opponent.
For Dana to be impressed, I have to finish this guy.
I'm going to put on the fight of my life.
The Tuesday Night Contender Series live and only on UFC Fight Pass.
A lot of buzz for Dana White's Tuesday Night Contender Series, rightfully so. Dan Hellie, Eve Edwards will have the call for the first live episode. They'll split duties with Brendan Fitzgerald and Paul Felder, who will work the next episode Tuesday, July 18th. Don't miss the live action beginning this Tuesday, exclusively on UFC Fight Pass. And let's show you everything that's coming your way on UFC Fight Pass over the next 2 weeks, if you don't mind. Of course, Dana White's Tuesday Night Contender Series, 5 live fights every Tuesday, all summer, beginning on July 11th at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. Episode 2 is coming up on July 18th. We'll have Fight Pass prelims in between on July 16th. Next live event is coming up in Scotland on Sunday. And then on July 22nd, you will see the UFC Fight Pass prelims from Long Island, New York, 4 p.m. Eastern for the start time there from Nassau Coliseum. Download the UFC app today and follow at UFC Fight Pass for more information. UFC 213, Romero versus Whittaker, live from T-Mobile Arena here in Las Vegas, is sponsored by Budweiser. This Bud's for you. Back in the weight class in which he had his greatest moments as a pro, Anthony Showtime Pettis finds himself in another big spot tonight as he draws one of the toughest outs in the sport, New Jersey's Jim Miller. Milwaukee is the place that reared Anthony Pettis, but when Showtime returns to the octagon to face Jim Miller in Las Vegas tonight, consider it a homecoming as Pettis makes his way back to the lightweight division he once ruled as champion.
I've always been a big name in this division. Whoever fights me knows it's going to be a fight. But I'm coming to go out there and get my spot back.
You know, of course, Anthony's going to say he's going to try to use me as a launching pad, but I'm pretty good spoiling things. So, you know, I'm going to come out and fight my fight, and if I do that, you know, I'm going to take home the W tonight.
Blessed with a deadly combination of talent and work ethic, Jim Miller's greatest attribute may be his resilience, because after a nearly 2-year run in which he labored to a 1-4 mark, he came back firing in 2016 to win 3 of his next 4 over Takanori Gomi, Joe Lozon, and Thiago Alves, en route to this showcase bout tonight with Showtime Pettis.
I finally got a little bit more momentum going in my career, and I'm looking to continue that tonight and keep going strong and get another win and make a statement.
Tempted by the prospect of becoming a 2-division champion, Anthony Pettis tested out the waters at featherweight last year. But he decided that his legacy will be just as impressive if he can regain the lightweight crown, a quest that begins for him in earnest here tonight.
I want to show the world that Showtime's back at 155. This is my division. I was champ of this division before and will be again.
Gotta love the walk of Jim Miller, the Sparta, New Jersey native, 39th pro fight here tonight. 5th fight inside of a year for Jim Miller. And Joe Rogan, you are looking at a man who has more wins in this UFC lightweight division than anyone who has graced that octagon.
Jim Miller is a straight-up savage. He's well-rounded. He's got a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and he submitted like really high-level guys inside the octagon, including Charles Oliveira, Fabricio Camoes. His ground game is rock solid. His striking game is rock solid. For him, it's just a matter of putting it together. It's a matter of putting it together against a top competitor like Showtime Pettis. This is a showcase fight for him. It's an amazing opportunity for both fighters, and it's a really exciting matchup to get going here in the lightweight division.
With Jim Miller, when you study the tape on him, it's evident almost immediately in the fights that he wins. He has the same style. He's light on his feet, but slowly but surely marches you down, and he initiates all of the action. He mixes his takedowns with his striking very well, and he's uber aggressive. Fights like he had against Thiago Alves, Joe Lozon. I mean, non-stop pressure in your face, elbows, kicks, takedowns. When he fights like that, he is very tough to beat. When he fights and you can see it in his eyes sometimes, he's second-guessing himself a little bit. That's when he's not the same and is dangerous.
And he's coming off a tremendous streak. The Joe Lozon victory, Thiago Alves, and then Dustin Poirier, an incredibly close fight with one of the best lightweights in the world.
And let's also not forget, Joe, I know you don't, that he contemplated retirement at one point in time dealing with Lyme disease. Very serious thing, and Jim Miller has regained his form, and tonight many people believe if he can beat Anthony Showtime Pettis, it would be the biggest win of his UFC career that has already produced a remarkable 17 victories. 27th UFC appearance for Jim Miller. Back up at 155 pounds, Brian, here is Anthony Showtime Pettis. He felt like he became desperate and hyper-focused on the belt. Now that is a thing of the past. We'll see if Pettis can get back to form here tonight.
Hey, really, he talked again about fighting closer to his natural weight. He actually incorporated strength conditioning for the first time ever. Something that I've thought a long time about Anthony Pettis. He's a tremendous athlete. He's fast, he's smooth, he's good everywhere. But he's never had a legitimate strength conditioning program to really enhance all that athleticism. This is the first camp he's done that. He's put on some legit muscle. He feels stronger. He feels like it's going to be more difficult for guys to hold him on the fence, control him on the ground, like we saw in fights like Gilbert Melendez, like we saw when he fought Eddie Alvarez.
Yeah, I think at 145 pounds, we were looking at a guy who was just far too drained to compete to the level of his ability. When we saw him at his best, when he beat Benson Henderson with the Showtime kick, when he submitted with him in an armbar to win the lightweight title, when he submitted Gilbert Melendez, we're seeing a kid that can do it all. When he knocked out Cowboy Cerrone with a left kick to the body, Joe Lozon with a left high kick. I mean, when he's at his best, he's absolutely sensational. I think right now, it's about where is his head at? Where is his confidence at? Can he regain momentum? And is he prepared to go to war? Because that is what you do when you fight Jim Miller.
And he says he's learning again. Instead of running 10 miles a day and being so focused on managing the weight, he's actually adding weapons to his arsenal. And even though he has a flair for the dramatic and the spectacular, he feels like he can't force the issue. He's got to exercise some patience here tonight against Jim Miller. You know he likes to entertain, but Jim Miller, a very serious proposition here in this 155-pound division. All right, our tail of the tape is brought to you by Performance Inspired, the all-natural high-performance line of sports nutrition trusted by athletes and health enthusiasts. Visit pi-nutrition.com. Anthony Pettis, 30 years old. Jim Miller, the southpaw, is 33. Pettis, 2 inches taller. Anthony Pettis will have a reach advantage of 1.5 inches. All right, now for the official introductions. Back inside the octagon to Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, this fight is 3 rounds in the UFC lightweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, a mixed martial artist, fully professional record, 28 wins, 9 losses, 1 no contest. He stands 5 feet 8 inches tall, weighing in at 155 pounds. Fighting out of Sparta, New Jersey, Jim A-10 Miller. And now introducing his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, a mixed martial artist, holding a professional record, 19 wins, 6 losses. He stands 5 feet 10 inches tall, weighing in at 156 pounds. Fighting out of Milwaukee, Wisconsin, presenting the former WEC lightweight champion and the former UFC lightweight champion, Anthony Showtime Pettis! And when the action begins, our referee in charge, Herb Dean.
Herb Dean, your referee for this lightweight fight between the veteran staples, Jim Miller and Anthony Pettis. Speaking of veteran staples, Arianny Celeste with us.
Ready, let's do it.
And we are ready to go. This fight clock is brought to you by Budweiser. This Bud's for you. Jim Miller, the southpaws in blue, Anthony Showtime Pettis in black.
Well, Pettis will switch it up, southpaw to orthodox. And you see Miller opening up with that low leg kick, which he used to great success in the Dustin Poirier fight. Had Dustin really hurt with that low kick, and he goes to it over and over again here.
And he doesn't just go to the thigh, he goes down by your calf and just kills the leg. And I like Miller attacking Anthony Pettis early, because you mentioned, Joe, during the walkout, there's no metric or stat for confidence, and if you can get aggressive and get some success with Anthony Pettis early, break his confidence, man, he's just not the same guy.
Yeah, you got to think about where his head's at. Losing to Rafael dos Anjos, losing to Eddie Alvarez, getting beaten down by Max Holloway in his last fight. I mean, he's had some rough moments in his career, but he's still only 30 years old, and he's still uber talented. It's just a matter of where's his mind at, how's his training camp, and can he handle the war? Inside leg kick again. And that will take away your mobility.
And Anthony always likes to stand towards the open side of his opponent. So if he's facing a southpaw, he likes the orthodox stance. The body's open to his body kick. Like standing southpaw against right-handed fighters. So let's see if he switches his stance, if he eats another one of those low kicks.
Pettis with a lot to prove here tonight, but really every fight of his WEC and UFC tenure has been a big one. No different here. Pettis just misses on the right-hand counter.
Pettis doing a nice job of maintaining his range right now. He told me this week that's his key to win the fight. He gets his range, that puts all of his weapons where they need to be. And this kid's a sniper, man. He sees an opening. There's no telegraphing the strike.
Jim Miller again with that low kick. He just keeps attacking that calf. Ooh, get kicked to the body by Pettis.
I like these feints from Jim Miller. That'll draw out some of these kicks, some of the techniques from Anthony Pettis, and allow Jim Miller to get inside, land his own combinations, and potentially some takedowns, which he would also like to do in this fight, put Anthony Pettis on his back.
Stiff right hand lands there for Pettis. Less than 3 minutes here to go, round one. Miller once again finding a home for that left kick.
Beautiful kick by Pettis.
Really nice
counter-flying knee. He hurt him.
Miller covering up, yet still returning fire.
As he was covered up, though, Pettis was altering. He'd thrown the right hook instead of the straight, landed it twice.
And he's mixing it up, going to the body as well.
Back against the fence is not where Jim Miller wants to be. The fights he wins, he's pressing forward. He does a much better job when he can back his opponent up.
That straight right hand is beautiful by Pettis. He's not telegraphing it at all, just dropping it in there.
And Dan Miller to our right, Jim Miller's brother, looks concerned.
Boy, Pettis getting right out of range. He's nailing him and then watching Jim Miller whiff.
Ooh, on the arms. And goes straight down the middle with that front kick as well. He's really mixing it up. Showing that creativity that really highlighted his early career.
And again, this isn't something, these aren't techniques that left him. That's a thing of beauty right there.
Spinning back fist.
We wondered where his confidence was. It's obviously high right now.
Miller somehow able to eat that spinning back fist without too much issue. You see some of the redness in that body area for Jim Miller.
Oh, beautiful switch kick. And that's that Taekwondo background. He's got such a great mix of traditional martial arts techniques plus Muay Thai and again, his underrated submission game.
And his submissions are quick, too. I mean, it's light and fast how quick he can change his hips. Look at him inviting Miller to kick his lead leg. He wants him to do it.
Beautiful right hand counter lands for Anthony Pettis. We go under 30 seconds now to go round one.
Boy, no takedown attempt from Miller yet. Not even just trying to look for a single to get his back off the fence. Nice shot to the body there, though.
And landed the right hand over the top as well.
Good kick to the body by Miller as well. Oh, head kick. He caught that one on the chin. He might have got wobbled.
Outstanding first round as expected. Tonight's Corner King is brought to you by Performance Inspired, the all-natural high-performance line of sports nutrition, trusted by athletes and health enthusiasts. Visit pi-nutrition.com.
When you kick, lean back, because he's trying to come over. Yes, sir. You're looking great. Okay?
Little level change fakes. Coach said he's going to be shooting, so be ready for that knee.
Shooting, right? So the overhand shot, those are his main focus right there.
You're doing great.
So early on, Miller was having success with his inside leg kick. Over and over again, he landed it. But Pettis seemed to find his range, get his confidence and his timing, and towards the second half of the round, he really started to shine.
And he was so accurate as well. I mean, he's finding a home for that right hand almost every single time he throws it. Look at him step through here with the fake of the kick, and bam! Caught him flush to the left side of his face. And Miller, as tough as they come, but man, he can't eat too many of those.
Yeah, Miller with good low kicks early, but all Pettis towards the second half of the round. And Pettis got a feeling about him now. Like he's energized, he's confident, and he's got momentum on his side now.
Very important for Jim Miller to do something to break that rhythm now. Nice left hand there. Pettis expecting a shot as his corners want him. Expect Jim Miller to shoot and try and wrestle him. Let's see if Jim does.
Well, that has been where Pettis has had problems in the past. The only guy who really beat him standing up was Edson Barboza. Other than the Max Holloway fight, which he was kind of really depleted. He had no business being in 145 pounds.
But every other fight we've seen Anthony Pettis lose, people have wrestled him. They've put him on the fence, they've controlled him, they've neutralized him.
And that was what Gilbert Melendez tried unsuccessfully, and he got caught in a guillotine. Now, submitting Gilbert Melendez is just a huge feather in Anthony Pettis' cap and shows you how talented he is. Oh, he went high.
Huge opportunity here for Jim Miller.
Just as his corner called for him to wrestle, there is that Jim Miller corner.
For the triangle.
If it's not instant, it's shame.
Wow. He doesn't have it. Someone's bleeding.
I believe it's Jim Miller who's bleeding badly. Able to squirm out.
Helping him get out of the triangle attempts.
I wonder where the cut is. It's hard for us to tell here with Miller's face down.
He's going to come right back for the triangle there. Miller smartly postures up immediate.
We're being told it was a head kick that opened up the cut. Yeah, it was a right high kick.
And that's the same kick Miller caught to actually get this takedown. That's how tough Jim is.
Miller just landed a good elbow from the top. He may have cut Pettis.
Well, all the bleeding is actually making it harder for Anthony Pettis to get any grip and mount any offense with his guard. It's helping Jim Miller, who needed this top control time.
3 minutes here to go in round two. It wouldn't be a Jim Miller fight unless both bodies were covered in blood. All Miller just missed on that, or so it appeared.
Again, what Pettis is showing off of his back is not just good defensive ability, but he's threatening. You see, again, every time Miller tries to get out of there, Pettis is threatening. But now Miller's got his back. Now, here's what's interesting. The same blood that was a problem when Pettis is trying to set things up actually aids Miller if he's trying to get that arm under the neck. Because all that slipperiness is good if you can sink in a rear naked choke.
I'll tell you what, I've grappled with Jim Miller before. He is deceptively strong on the ground for his weight.
Look at this, look at this. Beautiful transition there, and Pettis is off the back.
And Pettis is so smooth on the ground himself. Really nicely done.
And Pettis, yeah, no interest in letting Miller back to his feet.
Some hard, short elbows by Pettis. I look for Pettis to target that cut as well. You hear Duke Roufus calling out for shoulder pressure. They want him to pass. They don't want him to get swept. It's going to be very difficult for Miller to control Pettis' body here because of all the sweat, all the blood.
Here's Miller's best opportunity to kick away and get up, and he needs to take advantage of it. Pettis nicely keeping the pressure on him. But Miller's having a hard time seeing right now. He's doing a good job neutralizing some of the ground and pound, but no threat whatsoever to dig for an underhook here, get to a hip, and try and get back to his feet.
Hard elbow there by Pettis. And he's passing, moves to side control.
Look at the mount now.
Less than a minute now to go here in round two. Pettis continuing to apply pressure here on the ground. And yeah, the vision of Jim Miller, a real factor here.
He's looking for the Americana on the left arm of Jim Miller.
Staying really busy on top, which really it gives Miller no opportunity to try and scramble out of this position. He's constantly on the defense, whether it's ground and pound or a sub attempt or a transition
back. Miller he got a little impatient there, and he almost tried to pop up out of that and expose his neck. He's got to do this technically. Can't sleep on the grappling. And Miller back up to his feet. What a fight. And beautiful trip.
Something we don't see that often from Anthony Pettis. Him looking for takedowns really highlights the work he's done with his wrestling coach, Israel Martinez.
Outstanding final 2 minutes of the round for Anthony Showtime Pettis. Mutual show of respect there. Tonight's Corner Cam is brought to you by Performance Inspired, the all-natural high-performance line of sports nutrition trusted by athletes and health enthusiasts. Visit pi-nutrition.com. They will work on that cut of Jim Miller.
Well, you got to crowd him. He's only looking for his armbar. He can only get that if he moves his hips out. All right? It's honest. Let me just take a look. The foot on the bottom. We got to get to our full, or we got to get that shin across. What? Couldn't get a hold of it. I know. I understand. Relax. Relax. We know we can get a takedown. We know we can finish it. Okay? Yeah. If you get desperate, you have the leg option.
Come on, suck it up. 5 minutes, buddy. And here is the right high kick.
Bam, and Miller tough enough, catches it, eats it, catches it, sweeps the leg, gets on top. But that's what opened up that massive cut. And then here's Pettis really showing the diversity of his ground and pound, excellent ability to maintain top position. And then takedown of his own as he reaps the leg out from under him, takes him down. Momentum all on the side of Anthony Pettis right now.
Brian, what did you think about Jim Miller's corner thinking that they should take this fight to the ground?
I mean, you know, I guess they're thinking on the feet, he's just not having any success with Anthony. So they want him to go on top where they believe he can finish him. We haven't seen him execute a takedown yet, outside of catching the kick.
And I'm surprised they don't have him go back to that low leg kick that he was having such success with. I mean, he just abandoned that. There it is. Beautiful. I mean, it's such a painful kick.
Oh, it's awful. And again, if Anthony can't put weight on that lead leg, it really limits a lot of his offense and may cause him to have to switch stances.
There it is again. And that's one of those kicks where just one or two of them can drastically reduce your ability to move.
And that part of the body is just, it's not used to getting hit at all. It's very new for fighters to eat that. We saw it in one of the fights last night where a fighter's calf was hurt very bad.
Well, next Sunday, it's an FS1 UFC Fight Night welterweight main event. Gunnar Nelson, Santiago Ponzinibbio. Special start time Sunday, July 16th, 3 p.m. Eastern, noon Pacific on FS1.
He landed it again.
And I like that he's going back to it. I mean, it's been his best offense by far. But what he can't afford to do is sit at this range. This is Anthony Pettis' range where he, despite those leg kicks, he's still landing more frequently. Miller has got to press the action and pressure. Whether it's takedowns or combinations, I don't care what they are. If Miller wants any chance to win this fight, he needs to start moving forward.
And he went up the middle with the front kick there. Pettis is just so dynamic with his kicking ability.
And it's just, you can't see it coming. There's no telegraph.
Under 3 minutes here to go in this third and final round. Pettis now circling the other way towards that power left of Jim Miller. Well, not sure it ever left, but the confidence is there for Anthony Showtime Pettis tonight. Let's listen in to Duke Rufus and company.
Give me your fake takedown. Level change. There we go. Good.
Too fast.
Another excellent leg kick there by Miller.
Beautiful jab, Ali style. There we go,
right on the feet here. Not showing any ill effects from those kicks.
That's it. Yeah, good kick. 2 minutes, kiddo.
Keep moving those feet,
No, he's moving those feet so Jim Miller can't hit him with those low kicks anymore. It's when he's standing stationary that Miller sets those up.
Yeah, Miller's getting him in the transition like right here.
Yep.
Follow it up. Follow it up, Jim. Follow it up. Angle out, circle.
2 minutes now to go. Good shot from Miller, but Pettis stays upright.
Excellent job, quickly digging for underhooks. Good balance from Anthony Pettis to defend that.
Izzy style wrestling on display.
Elbows there, Jim. Right elbows there, Jim.
Minute 30.
A lot of damage inflicted by Pettis on that left leg of Jim Miller. One underhook, now two.
And this clinch portion of Anthony Pettis' game, this is typically viewed as a weakness by most of his opposition. Doing a nice job controlling Jim Miller up against the fence now.
Good elbow.
Interesting too, because Pettis' corner was calling for that technique. They wanted him to throw the elbow.
Less than a minute, Jim.
Miller trying to get some air into those lungs. Pettis continues to apply pressure. 45 seconds to go now.
45, let's go, let's jump the scissors.
Left knee, Jim, left knee is there. Elbow, Jim, elbow. Angle out. 30 seconds, Jim.
Crowd getting behind these athletes here in the waning seconds of this one. Little groin strike there. Pettis says, let's fight on. Outstanding fight.
Great fight.
Between Anthony Showtime Pettis and Jim Miller, both guys pulling out all the stops down the stretch.
And that looked to me like Anthony Pettis returning to form.
He looked fantastic. Jim Miller is no easy out whatsoever, and Pettis looked fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, he's the winningest lightweight in UFC history is Jim Miller. Let's get to the fight replay brought to you by Budweiser. This Bud's for you.
Well, we're used to seeing some real fancy striking from Pettis. He had a lot of low kicks, but he responded well with some counters there. Right hand and same side kick, flying knee, and this would hurt Jim Miller in round one. And really, that was a turning point after he ate a lot of those low kicks. Anthony Pettis got it done very well on the feet here. Kicks him in the head back, opened up the huge cut. Front kick to the face. These are things we're used to seeing from Anthony Pettis, but you're not seeing these highlights. The clinch game, some of the wrestling here. Sunshine kick comes behind, hits him in the back. Beautiful creativity, excellent accuracy. Really controlled the range and the distance so well by Anthony Pettis, but I was most impressed with his wrestling and controlling the clinch.
These fight statistics coming up here brought to you by Performance Inspired. The all-natural high-performance line of sports nutrition trusted by athletes and health enthusiasts. Visit pi-nutrition.com. So you see some of the numbers there for Anthony Pettis and Jim Miller. Head strikes, all Showtime Pettis. Top position, pretty even leg strikes to Jim Miller. But unofficially, Anthony Pettis landing nearly 70% of his total strike attempts here tonight. Jim Miller under 50%. The official decision now brought to you by Metro PCS, who brings you closer than ever to the UFC on a fast nationwide 4G LTE network. Here's Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds, we go to the judges' scorecards for decision. All 3 judges scored this contest 30-27 for the winner by unanimous decision, Anthony Showtime!
I'm here with the winner, Anthony Pettis. First of all, Anthony, welcome back to the winning circle. You looked like Anthony Pettis tonight.
I felt like myself, man. That cut to 145 was no joke. No excuses. I wasn't chasing a belt. Didn't go my way. Everybody clap it up for Jim Miller, man. That guy's a warrior right there. Give him a round of applause, please.
He certainly is, and that's one of the reasons why this win was more impressive, because you were fighting in a dogfight against a guy who's accustomed to that, but you looked fantastic. You picked your shots. Your conditioning looked outstanding. What was different about this fight for you?
No weight cut. I mean, 155 is my home. I'm the champion of this division, once in the WC, once in the UFC, and I'm just having fun now, man. That was a fun fight for me. Had a great damn time.
Do you think that maybe going down to 145 and losing all that weight and depleting your body was a good learning experience for you and lets you appreciate what it means to fight healthy?
Nah, I wish that upon nobody, man. Fighters fight in your weight class. You feel 100 times better fighting your weight class. There's no reason to put all that weight.
Congratulations and welcome back.
Hey, happy birthday to my daughter. She turns 6 tomorrow. Aria, Daddy's coming home. I love you.
Showtime Pettis, ladies and gentlemen.
Anthony Showtime Pettis improves to 20-6 and gets a big win tonight here against Jim Miller in his return to 155 pounds. Tonight's champions in the crowd brought to you by Budweiser. This Bud's for you. There's the UFC Bantamweight champion Cody Garbrandt, Kevin Lee, liking the bright lights of the camera there. The Motown Phenom, gotta love him. There's the UFC Featherweight champion Max Brest Holloway. Nice pop from the crowd here in Las Vegas for the best 145-pound fighter in the world. And how about Joanna Jędrzejczyk, strawweight champion Joe, offering to fight back. Oh, Tony hits them on pay-per-view.
And let's talk about how Joanna asked to fight Valentina Shevchenko in the main event tonight.
Right.
And if the Nevada State Athletic Commission could have cleared her medical, she would have stepped in. I mean, that woman's an animal.
And Shevchenko all about it as well, so we give her credit. But there you see Daniel Omielanchuk sought out some new training partners in advance of this one. We'll see if that work pays dividends here tonight. He'll try to keep his ranking here in the top 15 as he takes on a man in Curtis Razor Blades who is absolutely no-nonsense, former junior college national wrestling champion turned mixed martial arts knockout artist. And later this month, the UFC returns to pay-per-view in Anaheim, California. One of the greatest of all time, Jon Jones, is back and looking to take what he believes is his.
This dude put his hand on my throat. It's the first person to actually touch me before a fight. The truth is, he's looking at his superior, and he just can't handle it.
You have lost your mind. Superior, you lost the belt because of the things you did.
Breaking news just into Fox Sports 1. The UFC has stripped Jon Jones of his light heavyweight title.
He's involved in all sorts of drama and trouble in his personal life.
U.S. anti-doping agency has informed
he had it all, but just didn't see it.
First time since 2011, a man other than Jon Jones will be called champion at 205.
Daniel's got it under the net. Locked it up. And it's all over.
I always believed with every part of me that I would be the UFC champion.
It's under the neck.
And there's the tap, and still.
He has the belt, but he's not the champ. I've been fighting for world titles since I was 23. The last 5 years, it's been 5-round fights against the baddest dude in the world. But at the end of the day, I know I'm a champion. I know I've never lost a fight. Can he look himself in the mirror and call himself the champion, knowing he never beat me? No.
You know, a lot of people will say that. Well, you're a fake champion, you haven't beaten Jones. Well, I didn't have to.
I haven't been suspended. I didn't get stripped from my championship.
In order to be the champion, you have to beat the champion. He can fight all the other light heavyweights that he wants. He can beat every light heavyweight until he beats me. That belt over there is a piece of
I've accomplished everything that I've ever wanted to accomplish. I mean, I could have walked away, but the competitor in me says that I have to right that wrong. My legacy matters to me. I can't lose this fight. This is life or death for me.
DC needs to win the fight because he wants to prove to people that he's the real champ. You know, I'm fighting for something way bigger than DC. I need to get my life back. Daniel Cormier still has my belt. I'm on a journey to get it back.
This is a kid that's long needed to be put in his place. I am the person to do it. I'm planning to break his spirit, his heart.
You know, I know he doesn't have what I have, that thing inside that just don't allow you to lose.
It's all over!
He doesn't deserve all this. And I'm gonna make sure this guy gets what's been coming to him.
Jon Jones, no matter where you go, boy, I'm coming!
Yes, yes, give me all of that and then some. Saturday, July 29, UFC 214, going down from Anaheim, California. The rematch we've all been waiting for, Daniel Cormier, Jon Jones for the UFC light heavyweight title. It is July 29th, 10 in the East, 7 in the West. You can only see it on pay-per-view. Of course, though, the Cormier-Jones rematch, not the only big event of the summer. Floyd Mayweather and Conor McGregor will share a boxing ring, as you may have heard, August 26th in this very building. First, though, the World Press Tour. It figures to be absolutely absurd. It begins in less than 72 hours in Los Angeles. Then it is off to Toronto, Brooklyn, New York, before they close it out in London, England. Standing room only, I'd imagine, for the press tour, Floyd Mayweather and Conor McGregor. But now more UFC 213 action and a golden opportunity for two very talented big men to break out. One of the top prospects in the heavyweight division, Curtis Blaydes, has the chance to seize the main card spotlight tonight if he can upend Polish contender Daniel Omielanczuk. The old guard meets the new breed in a wide-open heavyweight division tonight, as Curtis Blaydes attempts to take his promising career to the next level by beating a veteran competitor with a steel chin and the resolve to match, Polish contender Daniel Omielanczuk.
Na razie skupiam się na tej walce i nie myślę o tym, co będzie później, czy mogę przyatakować. Muszę pokonać Curtisa Bladesa, dopiero będę myślał, co dalej.
Daniel's game plan is going to be to turn it into a slugfest, which is his best option of beating me. And the way to combat that is to pressure him and put his back on the octagon.
Curtis Blaydes knows Daniel Omielanczuk is coming for a win tonight. That's a prospect the Illinois native won't even consider. Because while the ultra-tough Polish fighter has never been stopped by strikes in his nearly 8-year pro career, Razor Blaydes has shown against Cody East and Adam Milstead when he lets his heavy hands go, no opponent is safe.
The other heavyweights, he needs to be worried about me because I'm only 26 and I can get a whole lot better than what I am today. So we'll just wait and see.
With the Polish invasion in full swing in the UFC, one of the country's fighting pioneers, Daniel Omielanczuk, wants to reignite his run to the top by scoring a decisive win over rising star Curtis Blaydes tonight. And as he's proven in the past, when he is on, he's a tough out for any heavyweight in the world.
No myślę, jeżeli pokonam Curtisa Bladesa, więc mogę śmiało startować na pierwszą dziesiątkę.
So here's the 26-year-old Curtis Razor Blaydes, and Brian Stann, we'll start with you here because you think we might just be looking at a future heavyweight champion.
And I'm at Media Day on Thursday, and this kid brought a book because he's sitting on the stool because he knew nobody wanted to talk to him, and people just left him alone. They have no idea what they're looking at right here, and he is sick and tired of only hearing about Francis Ngannou as the next and new big thing in the heavyweight division. People forget he was competitive in that fight, took Ngannou down. The referee stopped that fight because of a cut. This kid is solid. When he started in the UFC and fought Ngannou, he was training at a local UFC gym in Chicago. Look, those gyms are meant for fitness, right? Their mom and pop's going to get in shape. They're not meant to train professional fighters. He was training with a bunch of his little buddies to get ready to be in the octagon. Now, moved to Denver, trained with Bang Ludwig, Amal Easton, Cody Donovan. I mean, he's got real knowledge being poured into him, and this kid is getting better by leaps and bounds.
And this is an interesting test because Omielanczuk can bang, and he is a brawler, and he's going to try to take Curtis Blaydes' head off. And it's one of the best kind of matchups for a young, promising contender like Curtis Blaydes. Show him a fight against a guy who's coming to go to war, and let's see what this young, promising guy can do. And fighters, please, trim your fingernails before you get to the cage.
We had toenails.
Especially for a heavyweight, man. You ain't got to cut any weight. What else are you thinking about this week, man?
We had toenails clipping a few weeks ago. As they attend to Curtis Blaydes here, we can tell you he is the biggest betting favorite by a mile here on this pay-per-view, -750. This is a guy who a year and a half ago was favored to beat Francis Ngannou. I mean, let that marinate. And when I talked to Curtis Blaydes this week, I said, is your UFC career playing out the way you expected it to? He's like, no, I expected to beat Francis Ngannou. So wants to get that one back. First order of business, of course, Daniel Omielanczuk here tonight. And Blaydes also said, you know, I don't want to be a boring heavyweight. I expect myself to put on a show every time out. 2012 National Junior College National Champion Wrestler and Heavyweight, former IKF National Champion. A lot of amateur combat experience and a big one in front of Curtis Razor Blaydes here tonight in Vegas. All right, Joe, here is Daniel Omielanczuk. He comes in number 15 in the world, 29th pro fight. He has been there, he has done that. He's got lot to prove here tonight as underdog against Blades.
He certainly does, and he knows that coming into this fight. He knows that Blades is a 26-year-old promising prospect, and he has a chance to upset the apple cart. What he's going to do is going to come to this octagon, try to get close enough to Blades to throw bombs on him. And as I said, this is an interesting fight because it gives Blades an opportunity to face off against a dangerous, motivated guy with real power. And Omielanczuk has real power. He's a brawler, he's a tough guy, and he likes to make fights messy.
And very flexible. I'll tell you what, he showed an underrated grappling game. Because 3 fights ago, he fought Alexei Olenek, who we saw compete earlier this evening, and he out-scrambled that man on the ground. I mean, that was a war, and he won it in the 3rd round, you know, just by out-scrambling, showing off some grappling game. And his last fight against Tim Johnson was a great prepared type fight for this style he's going to face in Curtis Blades. And he left S4 Training Center to travel around Poland to get more wrestlers and taller guys to spar with to mimic Curtis Blades. Smart move.
Here's the tail of the tape brought to you by Performance Inspired, the all-natural high-performance line of sports nutrition trusted by athletes and health enthusiasts. Visit pi-nutrition.com. Omielanczuk, 34 years old. Curtis Razor Blade, still just 26. He is taller by 4 inches. 248 pounds for Omielanczuk, 257, and a hook for Blades, who will have a 6-inch reach advantage. All right, with that, we now go inside the octagon for the official introductions to Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, this fight is 3 rounds in the UFC heavyweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, a mixed martial artist holding professional record, 6 wins, 1 loss, 1 no contest. He stands 6 feet 4 inches tall, weighing in at 257 1/2 pounds. Fighting out of Chicago, Illinois, Curtis Razor Blades. And now introducing his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, a mixed martial artist holding a professional record, 19 wins, 7 losses, 1 draw, 1 no contest. He stands 6 feet tall, weighing in at 248 pounds. Fighting out of Warsaw, Poland, Daniel Omielanczuk. And when the action begins, our referee in charge, Mark Goddard.
Mark Goddard, 3rd man in the octagon for this one. The lovely Vanessa Hansen getting us started for round 1. Thank you, B. Ready to go. Here with this featured bout in the UFC's heavyweight division, which is wide open at present here in 2017. Daniel Omielanczuk in black and Curtis Blades in blue. The fight clock is brought to you by Budweiser. This Bud's for you.
By far, this is the best physical shape we've ever seen Curtis Blades in. He is much leaner than previous fights we've seen him.
And Blades says he does keep the focus on himself largely, but focused on southpaw defense.
That's good in the thigh, that's good.
In advance of this one against Omielanczuk.
Interesting, Omielanczuk was complaining about a low knee, but that one was low. I mean, that's 100%. The other one went the inside of the thigh. Mark Goddard said it's good, and I guess Curtis Blades got a little confident.
You tell me you're good. You tell me you're good. Listen, I'm going to take that front position away. That's twice that it's gone in there now. I know it's unintentional, but you had front position. I'm going to restart you neutral, okay? Think about the knees. Come out, gents. Come out. Pick those knees. Climb in. Let's go.
Well explained there by Goddard. He takes away the dominant position from Blades. Just remarkable how some of these young athletes make improvements over 18 months or so. I mean, Curtis Blades looks like a totally different striker.
He's just an outstanding athlete. I mean, look at the horsepower that guy's carrying in his legs. Look at this, Omielanczuk looking for the neck. And Blades got him up against the cage, which is where he said in the pre-fight videos that he wanted to get him. He wanted to control him, wear him out, avoid the brawling with Omielanczuk.
A lot of the videos Dwayne Ludwig's posted of his work with Curtis Blades, the combinations, the footwork, everything so much improved.
Well, if you haven't had enough action for one night, head to the App Store or Google Play Store and download EA Sports UFC Mobile for free to join the millions of fans that are already playing the game.
A solid takedown defense so far from Omielanczuk. He's really worked hard on his wrestling, and not an easy thing to do, but had to travel far and wide all over Poland to find the right guys to train with. And it looks like he's paying off so far.
Well, as mixed martial arts becomes more popular, you're seeing higher and higher level wrestling coming out of these places that we don't traditionally know as wrestling-heavy states or wrestling-heavy countries.
Omielanczuk very much a willing striker, willing to be hit, as Joe alluded to earlier. Under 3 minutes here to go, round one.
I'll tell you what, Omielanczuk has some really beautiful kicks that catch you off guard. Very flexible for a guy built like that. We rarely get to see him because he faces guys like Curtis Blades, or his last fight, Tim Johnson, guys who want to take him down.
Good kick to the body right there.
Beautiful. And the Omielanczuk camp was very confident that they'd be able to keep this fight upright and stop Blades' takedowns here tonight. So far, Razor Blades 0 for 2 unofficial.
Yeah, we've seen Blades run through guys. I mean, this fight against Adam Milstead, I mean, Milstead could not stop the takedowns at all. He drove through him like a truck. Omielanczuk doing an excellent job using that right overhook, or the whizzer as we call it, and then fighting with the opposite arm to either get an underhook, or now he's fighting underneath the chin.
2 minutes now to go in round one.
Nice knee to the body by Blades.
Blades working with Dwayne Bang Ludwig, as Brian mentioned, about 3 times a week during this training camp. A feint heavy attack here tonight.
Blades has consistently looked for the takedown against the fence. He also has a very good power double that he showed off in that Ngannou fight. I think he'd be better off trying some of these takedowns in the open mat.
Yeah, we're seeing really impressive takedown defense by Omielanczuk. I mean, he knew what he was getting into coming into this fight, and he really is prepared well.
Yeah, and this is an area where when he fought Leslie Olenek, I mean, he got taken down against the fence many, many times in that fight. Massive improvements, but he still has to create space, capitalize more, because with his back on the fence this much, typically judges are going to give this round to Curtis Blades.
And it's also probably got to motivate him now, knowing Olenek just beat a top 10 heavyweight tonight.
Right.
And, you know, probably emerged as one of the top 10 guys himself now.
You can see.
This is a huge opportunity for him with, you know, a massive favorite in Curtis Blades.
Let's make it work,
and
gentlemen.
sometimes
You
when
want
you
to
get
stay there,
athletes like
stay
Blades
busy,
and
please.
they're learning so many new techniques and they're getting better, there's learning curves, and there's times where it slows them down. You've learned so much new stuff that you're thinking a little bit in there and you're fighting a little bit slower.
Again, good takedown defense.
Really a forced attempt from Curtis Blades, not setting these up well.
I like that Omielanczuk is still throwing those kicks to the body, even though he knows the threat of a takedown is there.
Yeah,
caught him there.
Tonight's Corner Cam is brought to you by Performance Inspired, the all-natural high-performance line of sports nutrition trusted by athletes and health enthusiasts. Visit pi-nutrition.com.
Do you want to see it?
Słuchaj, musisz iść w niego.
You must go for him.
Ja wiem, bo dużo bardzo broniłeś i wybroniłeś bardzo ładnie, ale musisz zaboksować.
You defended many takedowns, but you need to defend more. You need to box more. Don't stop. You need to be first to hit him. He will try to tire you down on the fence.
Nie cofaj się też w linii, schodź na bok.
Don't go back, get back to the line.
Prawy cios, zacznij od lewy.
Start with right,
lewy
finish with the left.
Prawy sierp, tam masz miejsce. Lewy hak, prawy sierp, okay?
He's getting his head lower than you on the fence. So I need your head on his jaw or on his neck so that he can't get under you. Whatever side you come on, head on the same side. Okay?
You can draw at the end of the time, please.
Let's go, boys.
Good sound, baby.
Hey, you're winning the strike, trust it. Towel, let's try.
That was UFC veteran Cody Donovan with the final instructions for Curtis Blades. Chrissy Blair is in the building tonight. So Blades unofficially 0 for 5 on the takedown attempts in round one. Good sign, Brian, for Daniel Omielanczuk, but he had to work hard defensively.
He did, but I got to feel like he pulled some confidence from the end of round one. You know, he landed some nice knees, even with his back on the fence. Was able to throw some kicks as well and wasn't taken down from him. Like to see him open up more when he's got space like he does right now.
Yeah, he's got that very good left kick to the body that Omielanczuk keeps landing. And Blades, a nice knee to the body and a right hand behind it.
And I like the adjustment for Blades. Open up, throw your own combinations. The takedowns aren't working. Switch it up now.
And again, Omielanczuk using the fence to his advantage. Got a little winch there out of Curtis Blades, but he bails on the choke.
You know, it's interesting, Brian. Like, Omielanczuk is very confident up against the cage, stopping the takedown. And Curtis Blades has not been able to do anything about it, but he's not adjusting. He's not making any changes. It's difficult to figure out whether he's trying to just wear him down or whether he's just kind of stuck.
And I think sometimes fighters, when they're in there, they find a comfort zone where, hey, you know what? I can't get punched by this guy who throws heavy. I'm safe here.
I would like Omielanczuk to continue to open up with that left kick to the body because it is fast and it's powerful. And in this position, you know, he's throwing it from the southpaw stance. It opens up and he's going right at the liver.
Man, that right hand is pretty low of Curtis Blades. I mean, I've seen Omielanczuk execute high kicks. He's flexible enough to do it. Don't know if he's got the gas in his tank right now to do it, but try to wrap that leg over the right hand of Curtis Blades.
I think that's the issue, Bryce, just fighting that fatigue. Just over 3 minutes here to go, round two. Blades has worked very hard on his cardio, and to your point, Brian, the physique shows it.
Yeah, and you know, training at altitude, big advantage for him as well. Living at altitude now. Good balance there from Olenek.
Blades working off that jab, trying to close the distance here. Oh, nice knee.
Again with a knee.
Significant strikes, slightest of advantages for Poland's Omielanczuk. 2.5 to go here, round two. A lot of exhausting clinch work here.
You know, it's interesting, even if he has a significant strike advantage, we know that Curtis Blades is the one that's pushing the attack, controlling the center of the octagon, and continually pressing Omielanczuk up against the cage.
Yeah, traditionally, we will see rounds like this score in Blades' favor, but two minutes left. Omielanczuk still has time to try and steal this round.
Yeah,
he opens up.
These are very close rounds. I mean, there's not a lot going on.
Blades continuing to show some different looks, now changes levels again, but once again up against the fence.
It was a big telegraph for that shot.
Yeah, he did at least, that was the deepest he got into the hips of Omielanczuk and still failed. And what you're seeing here, the reason why this is slow is you got one guy, Omielanczuk, so concerned with the takedowns of Blades, and then Blades, just a young guy who's learned a lot in the last year of his training, and all that new knowledge sometimes slows fighters down. There's a lull in their fight pace when you're learning so much. I know personally, I certainly went through that early in my UFC career.
Pretty good head movement there from Daniel Omielanczuk. Just over a minute to go here, round two. And if you told him at this point in the fight that he would have stopped all 9 takedowns from Blades, he probably would have taken it. Unfortunately, he has been rendered defensive for most of this fight.
There's that left kick to the body again, but to Curtis Blades' credit, he really hasn't shown any signs of that hurting him.
And Blades needs to open up more. Now it's time, you know, all the videos of hitting pads and all that other stuff is great, but if you can't come in here in the octagon and execute it.
Stop. Curtis, come here. Stay there. Stay there. Listen, come here, my friend. Come here. Come here. Listen, stay there. Talk. Curtis, look. Listen, I need you to think about this target. You're going to put me in a compromising spot. I know it's, let me speak. I know it's unintentional. Think about that target, okay? Think about the target. I can't tell you what to do, but think about what you're doing. All right? Are you okay? We're good. We're good. Turn in. Ready? Let's go. Time in.
Mark Goddard is an excellent referee. He really is.
Thought he handled that beautifully. Stern warning, didn't take a point away.
Curtis is, I don't like that. I don't like him reaching like that from the outside.
And it's weird. I mean, previous fights, he's definitely shown better takedown attempts than that. That was telegraphed from way too far out and really high.
There's a lot of excess movement in his punching as well. I mean, what I'm seeing is fatigue, Brian. All right, let's take a look at some of the action from that second round. There's a good jab by Curtis, and there's another one. And he catches him with his knee coming in really well timed by Omielanczuk.
Musisz z niego pójść, jeśli chcesz to wygrać. On wisi na tobie, z tego nic
You
nie
have to
wynika, ale
attack
ty
if
tak
you
nie
want to
wygrasz.
win. He's hanging on you.
Musisz
There's
pracować,
nothing
musisz
going on
niego
for it,
chcesz to,
but he's winning that.
musisz to skończyć.
You need to finish him.
Nie pojedyncza
Do you
akcja.
understand? Not a
Lewy
single
hak, prawy
punches.
sierp,
Go
lewy
combo.
prosty, prawy sierp.
Left
Lewy
jab,
prosty,
right
prawy
hook.
sierp, lewy hak. To, co robisz, to
Left
tak,
jab,
to,
right
do czego
hook,
jesteś
left jab.
przygotowany.
That's what we
Musisz
train
tak
for.
pracować, jeśli chcesz to wygrać.
You need to
Musisz
work
niego
if you
pójść, rozumiesz?
if you want to win. You have to go for
Nie
him.
bij, prawo skos i nie skocz na siatkę. Idź w niego, jeśli chcesz to wygrać.
Well, guys, got to think that's the message and the urgency you want to see in that Omielanczuk corner. He has stopped all 10 takedowns, but Blaydes gets credit for that, even though they've been telegraphed. He's been the one forcing the issue. We'll see if Omielanczuk can get the combinations going.
Brian, if you're in Blaydes' corner, what are you telling him right now?
I'm telling him, look, it's time to open up. The takedowns aren't there. You're longer. You've trained a ton of striking. Start to open up, throw your own kicks, your own punches, but do it at your range.
He's still, oh, he got tagged.
Yeah.
He still seems vulnerable in these striking exchanges. He leaves these openings. Ooh. Ooh. What we had hoped coming into this fight was that Curtis, who's this young, very promising contender, was going to be tested. And we're seeing that tonight.
Certainly. Again, I mean, there's just a huge transition from being able to look good on pads, look good in drills, and then doing it live against world-class opposition.
And we're seeing him lose body fat. We're seeing him look more fit, but it looks like there's still some work to be done.
Fight fans, check out the UFC store on your mobile device. Get your favorite fighter gear and more. Shop now. Receive 15% off during tonight's fight. Use code UFC213 and start saving today.
Omielanczuk, I mean, best takedown defense we've ever seen from him.
Absolutely.
And that was a massive focus coming into this one. Put a check in that box. Unfortunately, his offense has been largely muted because he's been the defender.
And sometimes you start to rack those successes up in your head, and it limits your offense. Ooh, I defended that takedown. Ooh, I defended that. Instead of focusing on your own offense. Here are the times now Omielanczuk needs to let loose. When Blaydes throws one strike at a time, it takes him a while to get the hand back. I mean, it's kind of sloppy. There's holes there.
Yeah. Yeah, agreed. And I'd like to see Omielanczuk go to that body more. When the guy's this tired, you see Curtis Blaydes taking his big, deep breaths. Omielanczuk has powerful shots. I'd like to see him go to that body. Don't just headhunt.
Yeah, and especially with the body kick we saw earlier in the fight.
3 minutes now to go in this third and final round. Omielanczuk able to land that right hand partially over the top. We'll see how much he has left here to try to stage a rally. Blaydes appears to be the fresher fighter here late.
I mean, what we're getting out of this is that Blaydes is a work in progress.
Absolutely.
A very talented work in progress, very promising work in progress.
8 pro fights.
Yeah.
Right? And
26 years old.
5 of those fights, as I said earlier, you know, training at a gym with a bunch of, you know, high school and college buddies, you know, not professional mixed martial artists, no real professional coaching. He was coaching himself.
It was a good right hand there by Blaydes.
Pretty significant mouse there under the right eye. Daniel Omielanczuk, that jab won't help that.
Nice jab.
He's being smarter now, though. Yeah. He's not going to the pocket where he got tagged by Omielanczuk earlier in the round. Why risk it?
There's that kick to the body again by Omielanczuk. If I was Omielanczuk's coach, I'd be screaming for that kick.
Yeah, body kick. You can look for the high kick. Anything you can do, man. But he's got to land the home run right now.
He landed the left hand there. Whew. And Blaydes gets caught. You see those instincts to go for that takedown. Oh, wow.
Desperation shot from Omielanczuk.
Wait a minute. elbows here by Blaydes, but Omielanczuk still holding on to that leg. He's got that ankle turned up. If he can complete this takedown, Blaydes is stuffing it so far and punishing the body. Omielanczuk stepping over with that left leg.
And the thought process there from Omielanczuk, maybe if I can get a surprise takedown here, maybe I could steal this round. And maybe in his mind, he thinks that he maybe won round 2.
If he spins, he's got it. Oh, almost. Knee.
Blaydes able to get that right arm up to prevent any damage from that strike. So final minute here, 42 seconds and counting. Daniel Omielanczuk, Razor Blaydes whipped on that jab. Not the body language you're looking for from Omielanczuk, flat-footed, mouth open.
Side kick to the leg.
A little bit of a staring contest going on here down the stretch.
Whoa! You don't expect that out of a guy who's built like that.
Spinning wheel kick from a human fire hydrant. Yeah.
Tagged him with that right hand.
So a cracking right from Omielanczuk at the end of the fight. He and Curtis Razor Blaydes go the distance tonight. This fight replay is brought to you by Budweiser. This Bud's for you.
There you see a good knee to the body by Blaydes and a good kick to the body by Omielanczuk. And this is that perfectly timed knee. Beautiful timing there by Omielanczuk. Blaydes on the attack, catches him on the very end of that right hand. And a show of respect at the end. How do you call it, Brian?
You got to think that Blaydes controlled the pace of that fight. Got to think he's got at least 2 rounds, potentially even all 3. But, you know, good learnings from this guy with 8 fights, taking a guy with over 30.
This fight summary brought to you by Performance Inspired, the all-natural high-performance line of sports nutrition trusted by athletes and health enthusiasts. Visit pi-nutrition.com. So, significant strikes. Curtis Blaydes wins the day there. Takedowns attempted 14. Didn't land any of them, but he was certainly trying. Clinch control time, more than a round for Curtis Razor Blaydes. The official decision is brought to you by Metro PCS, who brings you closer than ever to the UFC on a fast nationwide 4G LTE network. Here now, Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds, we go to the judges' scorecards for decision. All 3 judges score the contest 30-27 for the winner by unanimous decision, Curtis Razor Blaydes.
I'm here with the winner, Curtis Blaydes. Curtis, you are a young, promising prospect, and when you have a young, promising prospect, you want to see them tested against a really tough guy like Omielanczuk. How do you feel this fight went?
I feel I should have did better on my feet. I know I can do better than that. I went to my wrestling a little too early. It didn't work out. He was ready for my wrestling, made me stand and bang, which is obviously his game plan, and I made it through though. I beat him at his own game.
You did make it through, and for a young guy like you, these fights are learning experiences. What do you feel like you learned from this victory?
I gotta work on my hands a little bit longer. I think he was a southpaw. I wasn't that comfortable going against southpaws. I really don't get to spar against many of them, so I was really cautious, and I think that bit me in the ass a little bit.
Well, the most important thing is you won, you move forward. Congratulations. We look forward to seeing improvement from you in the future. Curtis Blaydes, ladies and gentlemen.
First decision win of the pro career for Curtis Blaydes. That post-fight interview brought to you by War for Planet of the Apes. Winner takes all this Friday, only in theaters. Well, the celebs are out tonight in Las Vegas. There he is, the Rocket, Roger Clemens, 7-time Cy Young Award winner and the 1986 American League MVP. It's always sunny in Philadelphia represented tonight. Kate Olson, Rob McElhaney in the building, as is Chris Cyborg. Now just 21 short days away from fighting Tanya Evinger for the UFC Featherweight Championship of the World. And Joe Rogan, there he is, Justin Gaethje lit up this arena last night against Michael Johnson. We're going to rewrap the highlights here. What a night and what a UFC debut for the still unbeaten Justin Gaethje.
Please show this fight. Show the whole fight. It's worth it. This is one of the best fights I have ever watched in my life. Unfortunately, I wasn't here live. I was in my hotel room, but I was screaming. It was fantastic. Justin Gaethje is an animal, and Michael Johnson is an incredibly talented young fighter. So for Gaethje's first fight in the UFC, it was a tall order, and he had some dangerous moments in that fight. I mean, I don't even want to tell anybody about it. I want you to watch it. Right. Go find it, watch it. It was sensational. It was one of the best fights I've ever watched. And it was an excellent coming out party for Justin Gaethje. Let these UFC fans know, this kid is a monster, and he's one of the best 155-pounders in the world.
Might be a replay coming up on FS1. You can certainly see it on UFC Fight Pass in the not-too-distant future. All right, breaking news for you now. The UFC will return to Sydney, Australia. UFC Fight Night will be Sunday, November 19th. It'll be the Octagon's first jaunt to Sydney since 2014. 5th overall trip to one of the most beautiful cities in the world. You can pre-register for tickets now at UFC.com/Sydney. Live from the home of the UFC, the T-Mobile Arena, this is UFC 213, Romero versus Whittaker. It is brought to you by Budweiser. This Bud's for you. Well, 2 fights have not been enough to lend finality to the rivalry between Fabricio Werdum and Alistair Overeem. Tonight, they square off again to settle the score once and for all. With top 5 heavyweight contenders Fabricio Werdum and Alistair Overeem both targeting a rematch with champion Stipe Miocic, there is no better time than the present for these veteran superstars to settle their own score in a rubber match they hope will earn them another shot at the belt.
Fight number 3, and I fought with him in Pride versus Alistair Overeem in the first time. And the second time, he beat me, you know. And now, 1-1, I want to beat him again.
I believe I'm a total different fighter than the first 2 previous times we met. Actually, every time I was different. And yeah, this will be a surprise for him again.
One of the premier strikers in heavyweight history, Alistair Overeem wasn't able to implement that game in a submission loss to Werdum in 2006. But 5 years later, the Reem evened the series, and tonight, he wants to put an end to this rivalry once and for all.
There's a rivalry between us. He's a former UFC champ. He is my stepping stone towards the championship title.
A former world champion whose mission is to regain the crown he lost to Miocic in May of 2016. Fabricio Werdum enters this spot after a big win over Travis Brown. And now he wants to hand the defeat to Overeem, so as to leave no doubt when it comes to determining the next challenger for the belt.
Tonight is for sure an amazing fight. I want to beat Alistair Overeem for the next step. I want to fight the title shot.
Well, this third meeting just had to happen. It shall be done here tonight. There is the number 3 ranked heavyweight in the world, Alistair Overeem, finished up his training camp as usual at Jackson Wink MMA in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Tonight, Joe Rogan, pro fight number 59 for the ring.
And that's just MMA.
Right.
I mean, you got to think about his kickboxing fights. This guy was the K1 Grand Prix champion. This is arguably a fight between the best heavyweight striker ever in MMA and the best heavyweight grappler ever in MMA. With a few, you know, possible debates out there, Frank Mir and a couple other folks, Minotauro. But this guy, Fedor, is just a sensational striker. And what we've seen from him over the past few years is him being more intelligent with his approach, setting things up, laying traps.
Tonight's prep point is brought to you by Budweiser. This Bud's for you.
We saw that in the Junior Dos Santos fight, which is one of the most impressive knockout victories of his career. Yes. And we saw his clinch game in the Mark Hunt fight, in the last fight where he won by brutal knockout. I mean, and to knock out the Iron Chin Mark Hunt like that, just pretty sensational. And you also got to remember, this guy won the Abu Dhabi trials in grappling. So he's a talented grappler as well, submitted Vitor Belfort in Pride. Just an unbelievably experienced and well-rounded fighter.
Alistair Overeem has finished all but 4 of his 42 professional wins. One of the guys that he didn't finish was Fabricio Werdum. That win came back in 2011. He says Verdum's an intelligent fighter. I respect his experience, but I feel like at present I am the better man. And tonight, Bryan Overeem with a golden chance to prove that and potentially secure another crack at that UFC title.
Talked to Greg Jackson, asked him what are the keys for Reem to win this fight. He said, look, he's got to keep Werdum occupied, keep him busy. When we're at range, stay at that range, and when we want to close distance, control him on the fence. Very similar to what they did to Mark Hunt.
So here's the former UFC heavyweight champion of the world, Fabricio Werdum, comes in tonight as the top-ranked contender on the strength of a win against Travis Browne last September at UFC 203. And Bryan told me he spent an awful lot of money on this training camp, rented a house here in Vegas for the last 2 weeks. He says he's healthy, no injuries. We'll see if he can cash in tonight as a slight underdog against Alistair Overeem.
And a big piece of that investment was training with UFC veteran Mark Munoz, a national champion collegiate wrestler. You know, he really wanted to give some diversity to his takedown game and his ability to finish those takedowns. Not sure when he's going to go for that against Reem, but he assured me he will take him down, and from there really feels confident in his ability to get to the mount position or take over Reem's back. I mean, we know when Werdum can get on top of you, he's very dangerous underneath, but if he can get on top of you, man, that's where he wants to be in this fight. However, his strikes got to get him there. His striking has to set that up. And when guys have been able to get their hands on the chin of Overeem, look, he is vulnerable there. Despite all the accolades with his striking, he can very well be knocked out too.
I mean, he has been knocked out many times in his career. Almost a shocking amount when you really add him up with the kickboxing fights. But what Fabricio Werdum has shown is how good of a coach Rafael Cordeiro is, and how you can take a world champion grappler and with that same focus and dedication, make him a world-class mixed martial arts striker. And that's what we've been seeing from him, particularly in his last outing against Travis Browne. He looked outstanding. He opened with a flying side kick to the face.
And Alistair Overeem acutely aware of those striking improvements made by Fight Caballo Fabricio Werdum. All right, our Tale of the Tape brought to you by Performance Inspired, the all-natural high-performance line of sports nutrition, trusted by athletes and health enthusiasts. Visit pi-nutrition.com. Werdum will be 40 later this month. Alistair Overeem still going strong at 37. Both fighters 6'4" tall. 239 pounds for Werdum, 253.5 for Alistair Overeem, who has the 3-inch reach advantage. Now to get to the introductions for this co-main event, here's Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the co-main event of the evening. This fight is 3 rounds in the UFC heavyweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, a mixed martial artist holding a professional record, 42 wins, 15 losses, 1 no contest. He stands 6 feet 4 inches tall, weighing in at 253.5 pounds. Fighting out of Amsterdam, the Netherlands, presenting the former Strikeforce heavyweight champion and the number 3 ranked heavyweight contender in the world, Alistair Overeem. And now introducing his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, a mixed martial artist holding a professional record, 21 wins, 6 losses, 1 draw. He stands 6 feet 4 inches tall, weighing in at 239 pounds. Fighting out of Los Angeles, California, by way of Porto Alegre, Brazil, presenting the former UFC heavyweight champion and the number 1 ranked heavyweight contender in the world, Fabricio Caballo Werdum. And when the action begins, our referee in charge, Herb Dean.
Herb Dean, our referee for this one. The rubber match between Werdum and Overeem. Brittany Palmer, thank you very much. Ready to go. With this most anticipated third meeting, there he is, Fabricio Werdum.
Ready. Let's fight.
And Alistair. Fight Clock brought to you by Budweiser. This Bud's for you.
That's his new opening, I guess.
You don't care about your Fight Clock sponsor. Werdum, #1 ranked contender in black. Alistair Overeem in blue, ranked #3 in the world coming in.
Interesting how Overeem's standing. Hands down low, wide stance, almost inviting Werdum to strike so he can counter.
Maybe hands low so he could easily defend takedowns, dig for underhooks, but gotta expect Fabricio Werdum to open up with combinations and not really telegraph those shots.
Well, also, though, the hands low, you don't know when those hands are coming.
No.
You're seeing them coming from real weird angles. And Fabricio being a little cautious, sitting on the outside.
That's how Overeem caught Miocic in that fight when he rocked him early. Caught him for a second with a long-range punch.
That got Werdum's attention. He did a nice job at least getting that right hand up.
He's really found a home, Overeem has, in Jackson's. It's really transformed his overall MMA game.
Yeah, he loves to travel and get different looks, but you're right, he always ends up in Albuquerque to put the finishing touches on the camp.
His style has become much more intelligent.
And this is interesting. We haven't seen him this patient, though, recently.
Well, we saw him in the Junior Dos Santos fight. He lured Junior in.
Yeah.
Junior became a bit impatient, and that was his downfall in that fight. Ooh.
Haven't seen any of his signature oblique and side kicks either, which very powerful when Reem gets those going on your lead leg.
2+ minutes gone by here, round 1 of a possible 3. Coming up next, UFC Interim Middleweight Championship, Yoel Romero, Robert Whitaker.
A lot of feints here, a lot of figuring each other out. Remember, these guys have both fought. They fought twice.
Each own a win over each other. When you got a guy like Overeem being this patient, really smart for Werdum to feint. Try to draw out the counter or freeze him and then throw your combination. Get him to flinch a little bit. You got to throw off that counter striker's timing somehow.
Overeem continues to switch up the footwork here.
Yeah, he's very good at that. He's always doing that, always giving you different looks. And the consequences of making error against him are so grave. Oh, caught him. Clipped him with that right hand.
Both times Werdum has gotten clipped, he has immediately pressed forward into range.
Well, that seems to be what Reem is trying to do here. He's waiting for Werdum to close the distance and catching him coming in.
Overeem able to back up out of the way of that Werdum jab offering. Less than 90 seconds now here to go round 1. Beautiful body kick by Cavallo. He's attacking the body early, Brian. That seems to be the strategy.
Boy, and he's excellent when he really puts his combinations together. He finishes with those body kicks. That's been a big part of the success of Werdum's striking game, is really putting together excellent 2- and 3-strike combinations.
Alistair has really fallen into the role of counter striker, particularly in this fight. He's really looking to lure Werdum in and pot shot him.
And you know, the danger of that is you could fall behind on volume. You know, he may feel like he's landing the better shots, but right now, Werdum is outlanding him.
Albeit slightly 6-2 in terms of these significant strikes landed through 4.5 minutes.
Werdum with the front kick to the body. Yeah, not a lot, right? The numbers are low, but they're in Werdum's favor currently.
So the 06 meeting went to Verdum by submission.
He caught him again with that right hand. That's twice.
2011 meeting went to Overeem by decision. All right, 5 minutes in the can. Tonight's Corner Can brought to you by Performance Inspired, the all-natural high-performance line of sports nutrition trusted by athletes and health enthusiasts. Visit pi-nutrition.com.
We won the first round. Good. We got the one first round. Let's get water slow. Take your time. Let's start jabbing. He's trying to get you in so he can counter. We have to feint. Let's make him burn and let's attack. We have to step a little bit more. Your kicks are good. If you...
Iets meer op je gemak, iets meer je eigen spel spelen. Fakes erin houden, bewegingen erin houden, oké? Counter die trappen van je. Dus counter die trappen. We're good.
Christy Blair getting us going for round 2 here of a possible 3. Brian, any major takeaways from either corner there after round 1?
Well, I like what Cordero told me. He wants him to step into his combinations more. He feels like Verdum is just falling a little bit short on some of his punches and kicks. He wants him to kick more. Here he comes the flying side kick again. Again, I just think for Overeem, it's a dangerous game he's playing because rounds that close, he may think he won that round, but man, when the total strike count is 7-4, you never know what way the judges are going to go with that.
Yeah, very difficult to judge, but he did land 2 good right hands, and Fabricio didn't land anything that was comparable.
But why leave it up to chance like that? Throw a little bit, be a little bit more assertive, throw more volume.
I agree, but he may have this idea in his head that the way to win this fight is by knockout. He clipped him with the left hand there.
This in Alistair Overeem is the most accurate striker in the history of the UFC's heavyweight division. Landed there.
To the body, good takedown defense by Overeem, and Fabricio drops down to the guard. Interesting. If Overeem decides to stay here, I'll be shocked. I'm shocked.
Yeah, he stayed there with Frank Mir. He stayed there with Stefan Struve. Had a lot of success with his ground and pound. He told me on Thursday, look, I'm not afraid to be on top. Didn't want to be underneath Verdum, but wasn't afraid to be on top. Let's see if Verdum can make him pay for it.
Verdum on the ground is a nightmare, whether you're on top or on the bottom. I mean, we saw that in the Fedor fight in particular. The first guy to beat arguably the best heavyweight ever.
Smart move there by Overeem.
He can do things to you off of his back that very few fighters can. You're talking about a legit, multiple-time world champion in jiu-jitsu.
And he's training with some of the best guys in the world currently in jiu-jitsu, so he's still learning and evolving too, training with Cobrinha in California.
Overeem seemingly in no rush here as we approach the 3-minute mark of this second round.
Fabricio with the right hand on the top. There's that kick again by Verdum in there. Verdum to the body. Alistair showing him that leg. Oh, beautiful left hand. He stunned him.
And there's the nasty knees possessed by Overeem as well.
How long do you hang out here, Joe?
0 seconds.
Yeah.
I mean, he should treat Fabricio's body like it's on fire. Just jump out of there the moment you go to the ground. But he's very confident in his ground game, and he's also proving a point that he can survive in his world.
Small cut opened up on the bridge of Alistair Overeem.
He stung Fabricio with that last exchange before they went to the ground.
It was a nasty uppercut, and then the knee to the body as well. Overeem has some of the very, if not the best knees in the game.
He's thrown that lead uppercut a few times without any setup. That one certainly landed significantly. There it is again. 2 minutes now to go in round 2.
Switch stance, look at that, flipped him. The kick to the body was brilliant.
Beautiful combination.
So agile, too. I mean, you forget how well he moves for a big guy. What is he doing there?
point. I mean, he's got Werdum thinking right now. Normally, when Verdum's at his best, he's throwing non-stop combinations like against Travis Brown. This as hesitant as we've ever seen Werdum on the feet, especially in recent years.
Yeah, I agree. And I think what we're seeing here is what Alistair said. He said he's a very different fighter than the first 2 times they fought. And he is absolutely showing that tonight.
Both guys very flat-footed here, just over a minute to go on the round. Nice combination there and a big right for Werdum.
Nothing landed. He's sliding away from him. Now it's just pops him with the jab.
Interesting, hands low for Overeem, and he's circling pretty consistently to his left. See if Werdum sees that, maybe throws a right high kick. The hands are low.
But he's constantly switching stances as well. There's a good jab, very good jab by Fabricio.
Boy, follow it up with more though.
See, Alistair's looking to pot shot. He's looking to throw that shovel hook from the left side. And that's the same punch that he knocked out Junior with.
And almost knocked out Miocic with as well in that title fight. When Reem wants to play sniper from the outside, he's very good. Yep. Again, just plants and drives forward quick.
And good footwork there as well. Ooh.
So a strong second round for Alistair Overeem. 10 minutes now in the books.
Let's take a look. Here's kick to the body. Werdum looking for the takedown. Excellent job by Overeem digging for the underhook and then gets Werdum to pull guard. Overeem would eventually get out of there. And there's that beautiful uppercut that stunned him, followed by a big knee to the body. Man, just so much power when he throws those knees. And the looping left hook that he threw as well, doing an excellent job pot shotting and then followed up with this kick and then the right hand over top. Beautiful combination there. There's the jab though later in the round that looked like a stunned Reem for a moment.
Yeah, good solid stiff jam.
Every time you come with the jab, he tries to the left. But you have to get him. He's already given you your best. Now let's show our best. That's the best he has. Now let's show him our best.
Interesting advice.
Yeah, absolutely.
Third and final round, Alistair Overeem, Fabricio Werdum. Massive 5 minutes in front of these guys right now. Joe, you mentioned earlier tonight the uncertainty of Cain Velasquez, Junior Dos Santos, and Francis Ngannou have a date in September, but huge 5 minutes coming up here.
Yeah, and this really doesn't this highlight the real problems with the 10-9 system or the 10-point must system? Because maybe Fabricio Werdum won that first round by 10-9. Maybe Alistair Overeem won the second round by 10-9, but it's a very different 10-9.
Right.
You couldn't call it 10-8.
No.
But clearly he won it by a much wider margin than the first round was won by Fabricio. If in fact Fabricio won the first round, which is very arguable that he didn't. But it really highlights the problem that we have with the scoring system in MMA, which is why it's unfortunate that Nevada hasn't adopted the new system.
Yeah, absolutely.
Especially Nevada.
Well, and it's just awful for these fighters, too, because they can't get any consistency. And this is what we need to see from Werdum. He's got to get busier.
He is, but none of that stuff really found a home.
You know, again, though, he's at his best here where he throws nice combinations. He's just been very hesitant tonight, and I think it's cost him.
There's a nice knee.
Absolutely.
He could still steal this fight.
Oh, absolutely. It certainly can, and seen him press the action a lot more here in round 3.
Yeah, I mean, again, we really have no idea who won round 1. Unless there's some severe incompetence, I gotta think Alistair won round 2.
Right. Again, he goes to that lead left hand.
But there's a bit more slop to it now. There's a bit of fatigue showing. It's a bit more flat-footed. Oh, it's funny. He hurt him.
He hurt him bad. Overeem with a knee.
Overeem's got to be careful. Oh, he slipped out.
Slipped right out of it.
Boy, Werdum has got to fight to get off his back right now.
Yeah, that was the best moment in the fight for anybody.
Werdum reverse somersaults out, back to the feet.
Alistair's still wobbly.
Uppercut for Doom. Oh! The right jaw, I'm not sure Overeem is totally recovered here.
No, I don't think he is.
And he's Verdum's using quickness, not putting everything on him. He's being quick here, looking for the finish.
Level change from Cavallo. Plants Overeem on his back.
Big takedown for Fabricio Verdum. 2:27 to go.
You guys like that strategy?
I think it's perfect right now. This is how Stipe finished him. He's hurt. Fabricio's connected several times hard this round. I mean, Alistair could be in real trouble here. If Fabricio could posture up with his head pressed up against the cage here, Alistair can't move his head.
You gotta wonder if in Verdum's mind, he won round 1 and feels like this will win him round 3, and he's looking for a decision victory. I think he should look to pass here, get into a more, and there he goes, get a more dominant position. Potentially search for a submission or finish him via ground and pound. Don't be content, because you just never know how these first 2 rounds will score.
Now Overeem closes the guard, but zero thought for Verdum to go back to his feet.
I think he's in a good position. I think what he should try to do is posture up and separate those legs. And in those scrambles, he could perhaps catch Alistair, but Alistair's catching a break here. He's clearing his head.
Guard's wide open. Look to the time to pass is right now.
Yeah, well, at least he gets to posture up with the guard wide open. Now, as soon as Alistair grabs a hold behind his neck, then he can't do that anymore. Not a lot of time here.
Yep, 45 seconds to go in what could be a heavyweight title eliminator here.
And he just runs the risk. If he rides this out, you run the risk of losing by decision. You just never know with these judges. We both feel like Verdum won round 1 and that Reem won round 2, and obviously Verdum is winning round 3 right now by a good margin.
Yeah, the biggest margin so far in the fight.
And it points back to your point you made on the 10-9 system, right? This has been by far the best round by anybody in this fight, and it could receive the same exact score as the first round did.
Yes. Ridiculous.
Good hammer fist by Verdum here down the stretch.
Not much time.
Well, if you are the Verdum corner, that's what you were looking for in that 3rd and final round. The question is, will it be enough to preserve his ranking as the #1 heavyweight contender? Verdum and Overeem go the distance. This fight replay is brought to you by Budweiser. This Bud's for you.
And here it is. Boom! Big knee on the chin. Legs give out for Overeem, and Fabricio jumps all over him. There's a nice right hand. Stunned him further. Jab. You see the rubber-legged Overeem moving up to the cage, and Fabricio takes him to the ground and controlled him, but really never got anything big off after that.
And I expected after that takedown to maybe see Verdum look to pass, look for a submission from top. Otherwise, man, maybe keep it on the feet a few more seconds. You land one more knee and finish that fight.
Verdum just went over to Dana White and said commentary. Wants his Spanish or Portuguese commentary job back. Let's get to the fight summary, brought to you by Performance Inspired. The all-natural high-performance line of sports nutrition trusted by athletes and health enthusiasts. Visit pi-nutrition.com. So, again, not a lot of numbers to digest here, but the knockdown for Verdum in round 3, the takedown, significant head strikes even, significant body strikes piling up there in that 3rd and final round for Cavallo, Fabricio Verdum. They are calculating the scores here. The official decision is brought to you by Metro PCS, who brings you closer than ever to the UFC on a fast nationwide 4G LTE network. We'll see which man remains the heavyweight contender here in just a matter of moments. Fabricio Verdum and Alistair Overeem complete their trilogy here tonight. They go the distance for the 2nd time in 3 meetings. Here now, Bruce Buffer with that decision.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds, we go to the judges' scorecards for a decision. The judges score the contest 28-28, 29-28, and 29-28 for the winner by majority decision, Alistair Overeem.
All right, I'm here with the winner, Alistair Overeem. Alistair, a very close fight, a big second round for you, a big third round for Fabricio. What were your thoughts at the end of the fight?
At the end of the fight, first of all, a lot of respect to Fabricio. Great fighter, great adversary. My thoughts about the fight, I thought I had the first 2. Of course, Fabricio had the third.
Were you concerned at all by the end of the third round that perhaps him knocking you down could have won the fight for him?
I definitely have to admit that first round was not one of my best. It was a very good round for Fabricio. I had the first 2 rounds to judge sport. But a lot of respect to Fabricio. I fought him twice before. This is the third time. He became UFC champion. I have a lot of respect for him. And yeah, that's it.
Well, congratulations. This puts you back in a position to fight for the title again in the future. Give us your thoughts on that.
The hard work continues. I fought Steve before the heavyweight belt. I didn't get it. I doubled down and went back to work. And the work will not stop until I have UFC heavyweight title. Boom.
Congratulations. Alistair Overeem, ladies and gentlemen.
That post-fight interview brought to you by War for Planet of the Apes. Winner takes all this Friday, only in theaters. So we'll see if Alistair Overeem did enough tonight to warrant another crack at the UFC heavyweight champion, Stipe Miocic. Well, a big week for the MMA leader. That included the induction into the UFC Hall of Fame for Uriah Faber. And there she is, Valentina Shevchenko, all class every step of the way. Unfortunately, will not get her title crack tonight against Amanda Nunes. You can be sure she will get it at some point in the near future. Well, 3 weeks from tonight, home game of sorts for Joe Rogan will be in Anaheim, California. UFC 214 also scheduled to be there. UFC light heavyweight champion Daniel Cormier, former champion John Jones, finally, at long last, 2+ years later, they run it back.
I don't want to look back a few years from now and say, man, I could have been it. I could have had it all. I could have done it.
I'm going for a world title, baby. Let's do it.
One day closer to my dreams coming true. I never want to do anything that's going to harm our sports image. I know from this day of my life, never be the same.
He might be the greatest talent we've ever seen in the UFC.
John Jones is the youngest champion in UFC history.
The future Johnny Bones Jones.
This is where the real challenge begins.
And you have things thrown at you. How will I react? This is gonna test who I really am.
John can do anything he puts his mind to. He is his own worst enemy.
Will I be the right person?
John Jones pleads guilty to a DWI charge.
He tested positive for cocaine and checked into rehab.
Will I continue to be humble?
I hope he's somewhere crying right now.
Will I always respect people?
Jones is charged in a felony hit-and-run incident.
He's been stripped of the title.
He was recently thrown in jail for a probation violation.
A lot of questions will be answered about me.
I've sworn to protect the citizens from people like you, Mr. Jones.
I think some people love the chaos. The parties, the drugs, the alcohol. He might have needed that in order to be who he was.
Wild, unpredictable stuff.
Some strong demons tugging at him. And until you completely give in to the fact that these demons have you, you can never overcome them.
He's so in love with the narrative. He's obsessed with winning over the hearts of people.
I haven't done all these things. I haven't wrecked my vehicle. I didn't get stripped from my championship.
I'm a good person. And John, you are a bad person.
When you get your together and you're ready to fight, I'm here waiting for you. You know it.
DC feels as if I need some more humiliation.
What's this guy gonna do to mess this up this time? Don't you
I'm sick of being that guy, and I'm ready to get out of my own way.
We may see John become the person that he's always tried to convince us that he is. The only way he becomes that person is he loses to me July 29th.
I need to win this fight. I need to get my life back.
Man, that's deep. That is deep, but it is the story that's as old as time when it comes to combat sports and talented athletes. It's temptation, it's fame, it's all those things. It's the incredible talent and ability that Jon Jones possesses, and all the terrible things that he's done and all the mistakes that he's made. But he still has a chance to turn this story around and make it a happy ending. He still has a chance to be, in my opinion, the greatest light heavyweight the world has ever known. You know, other than Mighty Mouse, the best pound-for-pound fighter we've ever seen in the octagon.
I trained with the man for years, and look, I've been around athletes in the sport for a long time. I've never seen anybody improve and just be the most natural athlete for this particular sport in history. I mean, this kid, you could show him something once, he doesn't just pull it off on you, he pulls it off on every single world-class athlete in the gym, and then he just tries new stuff in the octagon and finishes people with it. He is that talented, but man, Cormier is the most focused and motivated I've ever seen him.
And he has held the belt now for more than 2 years in Jon Jones's absence. I guess for Johnny Bones, easier said than done to say I'm going to finally get out of my own way. But at least inside the octagon, he has been nothing if not reliable. A man who's still right now to this day ubiquitously regarded as the greatest mixed martial artist of all time.
Do you think that his unbelievable natural talent is part of the problem in some sort of a strange way, because it almost came too easy? Because he has these incredible physical abilities, he has this mind that's so creative inside the octagon and so impulsive in his ability to do things like he's fighting Shogun at 23. He opens up with a flying knee.
It's absolutely part of it. When I was in the locker room with him before he fought, the thought of losing never entered this kid's mind. He was thinking about what new stuff can I try to finish this guy. He feels he's invincible and nobody can touch him, and that is part of that lifestyle.
And how's that main card for you? Championship triple header, UFC 214, Cormier versus Jones 2, 21 days away now in Anaheim, California. But coming up next, our main event of the evening, 40-year-old Yoel Romero. A perfect 8-0 in the UFC. He has been overdue for a championship opportunity, but he gets it tonight, and it comes against a man nearly 14 years his junior. The oncoming force that is Robert Whittaker, vying to become the first man from New Zealand or Australia to be belted with a UFC strap. Romero Whittaker will make the walk next. First, though, a message from UFC women's strawweight contender, Michelle Waterson.
Before you watch tonight's main event, check out this exclusive look at War for the Planet of the Apes. All of human's history has led to this moment, and winner takes all. In theaters this Friday.
Apes together, strong. Apes together, strong, 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 strong.
And now live from T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas, Nevada, it is time for the main event for UFC 213, Romero versus Whittaker, brought to you by Budweiser. This Bud's for you. A combined 15-0 spanning their last 15. Yoel Romero and Robert Whittaker have certainly earned their shot at the UFC interim middleweight title. Tonight, In short order, we will see which fighter makes history and becomes a first-time UFC champion.
This is the most competitive the middleweight division has ever been in the UFC's history. We've got a champion who was trying to be champion for years, finally now has the belt. Now you've got two of the greatest athletes we've ever seen in the middleweight division, named Yoel Romero and Robert Whittaker, that are going at it for that interim belt.
Oh! Massive head kick for Whittaker, follows it up with a straight right. Down goes Ruckus. Wow. Oh, Whittaker pouring it on now.
Flying knee, he knocked him out.
Wow.
Huge elbows.
That's it.
Yoel Romero.
Tengo talento para esto.
Right on cue.
Romero's skill set is very high caliber.
Oh! Romero with a big shot.
He's in there to win, and I need these tough fights to push me further, to truly bring the best out of me.
Whittaker's coming through with some heavy shots. That is it. Robert Whittaker.
Oh! And that's what we're talking about.
I'm gonna go to war July 8th, and you know, I hope he brings it too.
Oh,
Beautiful right hand.
This is absolute must-see TV.
Gonna be a crazy night.
they continue to battle. Oh my God, what a fight!
We've got 25 minutes in there to try and beat one another, and you know, let the better man come on top.
These are two extremely scary opposition for the current champion.
See you some, boy.
Come into the light. Come into the light.
Well, it has been all systems go for the New Zealand-born Robert Whittaker since moving up to the UFC middleweight division. 6-0 in the UFC at 185 pounds. Tonight, at just 26 years old, Joe will try to complete the mission and become a UFC champion.
It has been fascinating watching the journey of this young man go from a kid that you keep your eye on to a man who has an air of greatness. And that's what I see when I see Robert Whittaker now. When I saw him stop Jacare Souza, it just was an exclamation point on that statement. You can tell this kid is on another level. He's in a new place. The question is that new place strong enough? Does he have enough tools in his toolbox? Does he have enough mental fortitude? Does he have enough technique, stamina, and ability to beat a guy who's one of the greatest athletes that's ever competed in MMA?
Tonight's Prep Point is brought to you by Budweiser. This Bud's for you. Brian, it's been remarkable to watch the evolution of Robert Whittaker. He has evolved into one of the better strikers this middleweight division has ever seen, and tonight that figures to be the heart of what he'll try to do against Yoel Romero.
In my opinion, he's the quickest guy in this division, and when his hand speed is on point, he's quick, he's accurate, and it also allows him to get in and out before anybody can touch him. Not just with counter strikes, but also with level changes and takedowns. His footwork allows him to control distance and dictate the pace of a fight. And pace is going to be one of his biggest weapons tonight. We've seen Romero fade before. Romero is a low-volume guy, and the longer this fight goes, the more the odds swing in the favor of Robert Whittaker, who's going to throw more volume. I expect to see him win rounds tonight. And if this goes the distance, man, you got to favor this kid because he is a very active and accurate striker.
I think the question is going to be, can he deal with the wrestling? Is he going to be able to stop the takedown? And can he deal with those ridiculous bursts of speed and explosion that are possessed by Yoel Romero.
I asked Whitaker about the magnitude of this moment and this chance for Australia, for New Zealand. He said, I'm trying not to run with that train of thought, put undue pressure on myself. But it comes down to this for Robert Whitaker, the biggest fight of his life. Now just moments away for the UFC interim middleweight title. The 2000 Olympic silver medalist in freestyle wrestling and one of the best athletes to ever cross into this UFC octagon, Brian Stann, the American Top Team product, Yoel Romero, 25 minutes or fewer away from UFC gold.
Middleweights are lying if they tell you any differently. When they get a call and this is the guy they have to fight next, they're thinking, oh man, what did I do wrong?
Unless you're Whitaker.
This guy is just that scary. I mean, his fight against Lyoto Machida barely did a thing early in the fight, and all of a sudden explodes in the later round, takes him down, elbows him into oblivion. Chris Weidman was fighting him perfectly, doing everything right. Out of nowhere, flying knee, knocks him out in the instant. Every moment you're in the octagon with this guy, you are in danger of him finishing you with something. We've just never seen someone this explosive in the octagon before. Oh! Almost knocked out his own coach.
He just tagged him in the head. Doesn't look happy. But he's an incredible athlete, incredibly explosive, fantastic wrestling talent, and that's translated amazingly well to striking. His ability to absorb a shot is also pretty spectacular. Yes. And he recognizes the limitations of his style, and he knows how to pace himself. The question is, does he know how to pace himself for 5 rounds with a whirlwind like Robert Whitaker?
Absolutely. And when I had a deep conversation with him this week, and he talked about how they studied all of the foot placements of Robert Whitaker. Where does he step in his combinations? Really getting analytical so they can take this guy down and be on top and grind down that pace and control this fight. That was the big theme of this camp. Where, because this kid has such good footwork, where will he step? Where is he vulnerable for my takedowns so that I can control him instead of having to deal with him in space? I asked him about being a slow starter, and he reminded me. He said, Brian, look, I only have 13 fights. Some of these fights early in my career, I was trying new techniques. I was taking my time, just trying to get some experience. That's why I was fighting so slow. But when you hurt me, that's when I look to finish you.
Yeah, he's only had 1 fight in the last 18 months. Of course, the unforgettable finish of Chris Weidman, and 5 of his 6 UFC knockouts have been in that 3rd round, right? So he is a guy who changes things up in terms of his approach, his speed, and his power, and a lot of those knockouts have come later in fights. We'll see how it goes tonight. One of the best fights we can possibly put on paper, Yoel Romero and Robert Whitaker. With that, our Tale of the Tape is brought to you by Performance Inspired, the all-natural, high-performance line of sports nutrition, trusted by athletes and health enthusiasts. Visit pi-nutrition.com. Yoel Romero, 14 years. Robert Whitaker Sr., both men 6 foot even, 185 pounds for Romero. Robert Whitaker, 184.5, both men with a reach of 73.5 inches. Now for the introductions for our main event, here's Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the main event of the evening. presented by Budweiser. This Bud's for you. Sanctioned by the Nevada State Athletic Commission. Chairman, Anthony Marnell Jr. Executive Director, Bob Bennett. Commissioners, Stacey Alonso, Skip Avancino, and Dr. Dan Carpenter. Our 3 judges scoring this contest at Octagon side are Sal Diamato, Junichiro Kamiho, and Chris Lee. And when the action begins, our referee in charge of the Octagon, Big John McCarthy. This bout is sponsored by Budweiser. This Bud's for you. Metro PCS, who brings you closer than ever to the UFC on a fast nationwide 4G LTE network. And War for the Planet of the Apes. Winner takes all this Friday, only in theaters. And now, this is the moment UFC fans watching around the world have been waiting for. Live from the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas, it's time! 5 rounds for the interim UFC Middleweight Championship of the World. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, a mixed martial artist holding a professional record, 19 wins, 4 losses. He stands 6 feet tall, weighed in at 184.5 pounds. Fighting out of Sydney, Australia, presenting the Tough Smashes welterweight winner and the number 3 ranked middleweight contender in the world, Robert the Reaper Whittaker! And now introducing his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, a mixed martial artist holding professional record, 12 wins, 1 loss. He stands 6 feet tall, weighing in at 185 pounds. Fighting out of Coconut Creek, Florida, by way of Pinar del Rio, Cuba, presenting the 2000 Olympics freestyle wrestling silver medalist and the number 1 ranked middleweight contender in the world, Yoel, Soldier of God, Romero!
Jenna, we got over the rules in the back. I want you to protect yourself at all times, obey my commands at all times. I want you to fight hard, to fight clean. If you want to touch gloves, touch them now. Good luck to both of you.
The wait for this one ends here. Yoel Romero, Robert Whittaker for the UFC's interim middleweight championship. The winner to face the undisputed king right now at 185 pounds, Michael Bisping, Octagon side alongside UFC President Dana White for this interim middleweight title fight tonight. Robert Whittaker with the nation on his shoulders, trying to come through. He is in the blue trunks. Yoel Romero in red. The fight clock is brought to you by Budweiser. This Bud's for you. Romero out of the southpaw stance. Whittaker, the orthodox fighter.
Romero does a lot of weird stuff. He lulls you into a false sense of security with slow motion sometimes. And you're seeing it here. Just kind of feels you out, sees where you are. But when he explodes, it's shocking.
So unpredictable. A lot of guys underestimate the punching power of Whittaker. You know, a lot of his punches are short and they're crisp, but man, as he's shown time and time again, he lays people out with them.
Whittaker less than 3 months removed. Little slip there for Robert. Less than 3 months removed from that win over Jacare de Souza that set up this championship opportunity tonight.
Whittaker back in the center of the octagon. This is really where he wanted to be. Dictate the pace and the space of this fight with his striking, and wanted to be in the center of the octagon to do that.
Whitaker really wasn't concerned about 5 rounds tonight. Looked like Romero landed a kick to the body.
Nice timing though on the jab by Whitaker as well.
Whitaker's closing in very quickly. Beautiful jab there by Whitaker. The way he's closing the distance is very quick.
And he uses his legs to really snap in and hit you. It's not just an arm punch, it's a full body.
Hook kick.
And Whitaker nearly made him pay with a counter right shot here from Romero. Whitaker goes down.
We see a lot of times Romero, when he takes guys down, he sacrifices top position because he just postures up and throws bombs. Here he tried to keep on, but that's a big mental win for Robert Whitaker, escaping that easily. That's a loss in my eyes for Romero, who used a lot of energy to execute that takedown and really didn't get much out of it.
Try the flying knee. Look at this. Wow. Whitaker with a takedown defense. Sensational.
Excellent hips there, somehow getting his legs back under him. But if you're in the corner of Whitaker, this is what you want. Get this guy to expend as much energy in round 1 as you can. And then look for him to fade later. They really do believe that Romero will slow down if this fight gets into the 4th and 5th round.
Whitaker's takedown defense north of 91% coming in. Less than 2 minutes now to go round 1. Whitaker wasn't too concerned about 5 rounds versus 3 tonight. He feels like the gas tank is really dependent upon who dictates the fight.
Nice work reaching across the head, getting his back off the fence.
I may be wrong, but I'm looking at Robert Whitaker's right leg, and I think he might have injured it in one of those scrambles. There's something about the way he's moving that just seems a little off.
It looks like the top of his foot has a cut on it. It's very easy just to break those bones on the foot. You kick someone in the knee or catch their elbow on a front kick.
I mean, it might just be the odd way that he moves, but I'm seeing this occasional straightening of his leg, where his leg locks. It just looks odd to me.
Nice front kick there, though, with that leg.
Whitaker feints. Under a minute here to go round 1.
Watch what he's gonna come up with. He's gonna scream. He's got his flat foot, bro. Watch it.
Nice job by Whitaker to use the whizzer and get back to his feet. 20 seconds here in round 1.
Amazing takedown defense by Whitaker. Amazing.
Not an easy round to score, though.
Ooh. Powerful inside leg kick.
Ooh, just flicked him.
Good sign there. But Whitaker was able to throw that right just out of range with a massive right hand.
It's all right, it's all right.
Does appear to be moving a little bit gingerly, Joe.
Yeah, something just seems
Fabs.
off.
Fabs, right stool.
Boy, this corner forgot the stool. They're late to getting in there for him.
Sit, Robert. Sit, Robert. Sit. All right, mate. Breathe. Breathe. Take a little bit of water. Okay, he's stomping on your left leg, okay? Huh? Yours? Okay, you need to make sure that you switch his stance left and right. Let him to think. You got to drive with that jab. He doesn't like to push you to the stomach either. But he is waiting for you. He's a Kiana. So just make sure you don't fall into that spring. He's going to be looking for time for the spring. Okay? Where does it hurt on your leg? Where does it hurt?
So we're going to try to find out when it happened, but I do believe he just said, my left leg is trashed.
I think this is where it happens.
Oh, that's it. So he's disguising it well, but there's something going on with his left leg, and it was from the very beginning of the first round.
That was a hard oblique kick, and look, when you're a guy who really depends on movement and being light on your feet, big injury for Whitaker to sustain. Until he he's fighting through.
Yeah, that is the lead leg, and you can see now, hard for him to put pressure on it.
I'll tell you what, though, look, there's already some bruising on the inside of the left knee.
Yeah, that was from an inside leg kick that Romero landed towards the end of the round.
Yep.
But Whitaker's having a real hard time pushing off that. But he's just throwing it anyway.
He has said in the past, no better place to break my hand than the octagon.
He's getting it out of the way really quick now.
Look at the way he stepped there, was very awkward.
Yeah.
Doesn't look like Romero realizes it yet, though.
I don't know how his corner isn't seeing it.
Been a lot of those collisions as both men try to advance.
Looked like Whitaker ate a knee to the chest, though, and a beautiful level change from Romero. Let's see if he can get some top time here, though, staying heavy. And there, look, Whitaker had an opportunity to lift with butterfly guard there, and if his left knee is hurt, he couldn't do it, and he immediately left butterfly guard to close his guard. Not something I would do if I wanted to get Romero off of me, but if your knee is trashed, like he said, man, you're going to have a hard time lifting.
Yeah, and if his knee is trashed, it's going to be very hard to keep weight on it as he's trying to get back up to his feet and use it in awkward angles. He might just try to hold on here for Big John to stand him back up.
Yep.
And it seems like that's what he's doing here.
To this point, Romero staying active enough, under 3 minutes here in round 2.
Yeah, I can see Big John send him up those shortly. And the big thing, too, though, is we've seen some vicious ground and pound from Romero in the past. He's avoiding a lot of that as well. Now Romero's up.
Romero tries to pass, unable to do so.
Whitaker with a bit of sweep, but Romero takes his back.
Get ready for Suplex City possibly here. Nice job by Whitaker to lower his base and get himself to the fence. Really nicely done.
Yoel still with control of the body. And lands a knee now, tries to kick the legs out from underneath Whitaker, not happening. Two minutes to go, round 2.
Better pacing by Romero in this round. He exploded a lot in round 1. The one takedown here, but even though he's controlling the clinch, not overexerting himself here in these positions and wasting energy.
Beautiful trip. But Whitaker back up to his feet, turning into Romero.
Hey, what though, that'll sap a lot of energy from your legs, constantly having to stand back up out of that tight waist and rotate through and pummel.
Whitaker landing that right knee.
And Whitaker just allowing too much fence control time here. He's going to dig that left arm in, try and get double underhooks and get out of this position. Or reach around the head like he did in round 1.
So John McCarthy not seeing enough action. Back to the center, less than a minute to go here in this second round of a possible 5. Romero 2 for 5 on his takedown attempts thus far.
You see him, he tried to hide the wobble with that punch.
Whitaker showing off a pretty good chin there after a big right hand from Romero. So Whitaker seemingly fighting through injury here in this UFC interim middleweight title fight.
Romero just doesn't want to give him any space.
He also doesn't want to waste too much energy himself. Clearly pacing himself. And he gets the takedown at the very end of the round.
I got it.
Right into the blue corner of the Reaper, Robert Whitaker.
Breathe, breathe, breathe. Take it easy. Relax. Okay, breathe. Drink a little bit of water. Push kicks, not turning kicks. Just drop in there. Use your hands more. Boxing more. Use your footwork more. You
Ready.
got it, okay? You know what's happening with your left leg? You're gonna have to go through it. You understand me? Forget about it. Forget about it. Right now, think about the guy and punch him in the face. You get me? Punch him in the face. Guys, you want to say something to him?
Just keep it going, Rob. It's a long fight, mate. You've got plenty of time.
Yes, sir.
Plenty of time.
Alex?
It's going to be strong at the start of this round.
Alex, you got something to say?
Same thing. Got patience.
All right, be patient, yeah? Be patient. Quick. All right, what are you going to do now?
Still, please. Thank you. Good job.
Joe, any thoughts on that message there to Whitaker from the corner?
I mean, it's easier said than done to try to ignore the leg. The problem is he can't really push off of it correctly. You see, even as he's standing here, he's putting his weight on his right leg. We obviously have no idea how compromised it is, but it's an issue. It's going to affect his punching power. It's going to affect his kicks for sure. And it's going to affect his ability to grapple.
Let's get up.
The question is, how bad is the injury? How much of it is pain, and how much of it is instability? There's a big difference. He can get through pain.
Feinting nicely there, and has to put weight on that knee to do so. But I've been really impressed with Romero and some of the fight IQ we've seen from him. We've seen lack of focus before in previous fights. His fight against Derek Brunson, fight against Hani Marks, Tim Kennedy. He's had these lapses of focus where he's gotten caught, where he's got taken down. Here, though, late takedowns in each round, could very well be up 2 rounds to none right now, and hasn't overexerted himself.
Yeah,
Stop.
looks very
Time.
fresh.
Go over there.
They're going to clip the tape
Get up here.
off of Romero's glove.
Give me that real quick. Cut that.
Whitaker does
Get right
keep
back
going to
there.
that push kick, but at least to this point
Shut
in
the
the round,
gate.
he has been unable to land.
Fight.
The last round, he followed up that push kick with a nice hook and did land. That's one of his better combinations. So yeah, we have not seen Whitaker let his hands go like we're accustomed to seeing with those quick, fast, accurate combinations.
I'm shocked that he's throwing so many kicks. If his knee really is trashed. But it may just be a pain thing and not a stability thing, in which case it makes sense.
He's definitely gotten away from his jab, which is an excellent strike when he sets up his follow-on harder punches. Landed it nicely in round 1.
He's put a lot of pressure on Romero here.
Oh!
He clipped him.
Big left hand lands for Whitaker. See if he can follow it up here. So a strong first 90 seconds to round 3 for Robert Whitaker.
A nice shot cutting him off too, keeping Romero's back towards the fence. Keep an eye if Romero starts to try and laterally move and escape these combinations. Remember what Whitaker did to Jacare, followed up a right hand with that right high kick, catching you circling away.
As we mentioned off the top, this has been a huge round for Romero in his UFC career. Of course, all of those previous fights were only scheduled for 3, scheduled for 5 here tonight with the UFC middleweight belt on line.
Exactly right. Finished Derek Brunson, 3rd round. Machida, 3rd round. Chris Weidman, 3rd round.
Tim Kennedy, 5 of 6 UFC KOs, round 3. Ooh.
Boy, and there's that nice right high kick.
Distance strikes starting to pile up for Bob Whitaker. Less than 2.5 here to go, round 3. So not much in terms of output from Romero through the left hand there. Whitaker counters. Perhaps Romero starting to fade a little bit.
Yeah, I believe so. And he's looking to just explode one big bomb and conserve himself in between.
Boy, that was excellent feint. Double feinting there as he closed the distance and really drew out a bad shot from Romero there.
He's still able to move well, despite whatever's going on with his knee. He's able to close the distance well, explode forward, stuff takedowns. He's obviously got some sort of an issue, but he's making up for it.
And Romero's not even throwing strikes, not jabbing, not kicking. Oh, beautiful work there from Robert Whitaker.
You can almost feel Whitaker's confidence rising here as we approach the final minute of this 3rd round.
Whitaker does an excellent job of same-side attacks. A lot of people, if you punch with the right hand or kick with the right foot, they expect you to follow up with the opposite hand or leg. Whitaker using nice right punch, right knee, right punch, right high kick. A little unorthodox, catches guys off guard.
Looked like that right hand landed partially. Robert Whitaker came in with the best strike differential
regardless
in UFC middleweight history.
Romero's not throwing anything.
Yeah, as fast as Robert Whitaker is, it is very evident that Romero's trying to conserve himself. Good left hand to the body there.
Yoel Romero has never seen a fourth round in his mixed martial arts career. He is 10 seconds away from doing just that.
I honestly can't remember the last time he threw a punch. It may have been the first 90 seconds of the round.
He took him with the left hand right at the end. Romero takes a big, deep breath as he goes back. Look at this. Michael Bisping's mocking him, telling him to breathe. Oh, he threw up that Cuban flag.
Bisping rips the Cuban flag, throws it at Yoel Romero.
Wow.
No mercy.
That's Bisping.
Wow.
Boy, they're working overtime on him.
Use your jab a little bit more. Come back underneath, cut with the right overhook, follow him with the left hook when he runs away. He's running away from you. Okay? Does that make sense? You hear me? Use your push kick, he's working as well. Okay?
This is where it's going to get interesting, ladies and gentlemen. Fourth and the fifth round. I'm looking at Whitaker. He looks fresh, despite the injury with his left leg.
Had a little laugh in his corner as well. He's starting to really settle into this fight.
I think he believes that what he's seeing is momentum going his way.
Don't forget, post-fight show for UFC 213 on FS1 immediately following the main event. You can see it on Fox Sports Go. For those watching in Canada, you can flip it over to TSN as soon as we are done. Whitaker so highly focused on his cardio and his fitness. No denying he's the fresher fighter here as we hit these championship rounds. Round 4 underway.
He's using a lot of push kicks, creating distance, and as Brian was saying, he tries to go right behind that with a punch.
Whitaker moving a lot better here in round 4 than he was in round 2. Lands the kick to the body there. That got Romero's attention.
Very smart to attack the body right now.
Beautiful scrambles here. Whitaker up to his feet, trying to hit the switch. Can't make it, gets up to the cage.
Really smart, he almost sprinted towards that fence.
Yeah. There's a lot of energy here being expended by both guys. But if Romero can't get the takedown or can't get any damage to Whitaker, he's landing some good knees here. But this is going to be interesting to see how he fares in the last 3 minutes and 40 seconds of the round.
This is where he had success in round 2, where he basically just held on to Robert as much as he could. Even if he couldn't take him down, he's going to stay here as much as he can and just rest. And land a few knees trying to win the round.
Robert pummels under. He's up. He's up and he's free, and he lands a nice knee to the body.
Outstanding job by Whitaker to get back to his feet. Just over 3 minutes here, round 4. No one talks about Whitaker's grappling. We talk about his takedown defense. Here's a guy, he actively competes in jiu-jitsu. Ooh, you saw something there.
I'll tell you what, he's extremely well prepared for this fight, just like he was against Jacare. For Jacare's exact style of takedowns, he seems very well prepared to break the hold and pummel and avoid some of these takedowns and just the clinch from Romero in general.
Romero's looking at his legs. He's looking at his legs, and remember that flying knee of Romero. It's one of his big weapons. And if he thinks that Whitaker's having a hard time getting out of the way of things.
Big deep breath from Robert Whitaker as we hit the midpoint of round 4. Romero 8-0 in the UFC coming in. Whitaker has won his last 7. Something's got to give here tonight.
There's the knee.
It's just harder to time those techniques on Whitaker because he moves well, light on his feet, feints a lot.
Yeah, even with that damaged leg, he's still able to cover distance well. Oh, he caught him with the left.
So Whitaker follows up the body kick with left hand. Beautiful push
kick to the body.
And look how smart he is, right? Some guys will get over aggressive here, try and throw a 2 or 3 punch combo in the pocket, but he immediately gets back out to his range, understanding just how explosive the athlete is he's facing.
Ooh. Just whipped with that left uppercut.
It was open though. Let's see if he goes back to it.
Romero's doing very little in terms of striking in this round.
Well, there's the significant strike picture, Joe.
He caught him with that right hand.
Has landed only 21 with just 6 minutes to go.
Beautiful takedown defense.
And that's huge because Romero needs another takedown to try and win this round. You control the beginning of it.
Not sure if he dropped Romero there, but he stunned him with a right. Jabs Romero while you're out.
Oh, caught him with that left.
Man, beautiful left hand.
Oh, he rocked him.
Quick check on the clock by Whitaker. It reads 34 seconds.
Very little behind that kick. You can see how labored it was.
And he's failing miserably.
Stuffed the shot and landed a beautiful knee.
Look how sloppy that attempt is. He's exhausted.
Whitaker mixing up his strikes beautifully here down the stretch in round 4.
And he is just so intelligent in his approach. Never gets greedy.
Wow, wow, wow indeed. And look how tired Yoel Romero is.
Okay, let's stop playing. Yeah, let's stop playing games now. Okay, let's get serious now.
Mira tus hijas allá afuera y están esperando que tú le des.
He's dead, he's dead, he's really tired. Keep on drying, let's keep on drying him.
Listen to me. You gotta win this round. You got me.
Put him away with punches. You get me? Put him away with punches, my friend.
I haven't told you
Breathe.
if you are, man. This round's gonna decide, bro.
This is what decides it. Don't let him take you to the ground. Do not go to the ground. These one, you punch him out. Stay on the outside. Stay on the outside, Wolf. Stay on the outside.
This could be it right here, folks. This easily could be it.
You ready?
Personally, I think it's 2-2. I thought Romero won the first 2. Whitaker's won the last 2. Both corners agree. Both corners told their fighters, you need this round to win the fight.
Not much in terms of technical advice, at least when we listen into the corner of Yoel Romero. 5th and final round of this UFC interim middleweight championship fight. Ooh. There's a land for Yoel Romero.
Good jab by Whitaker right there. He's catching him coming in because Romero's telegraphing things, getting sloppy with his movements.
And Whitaker's faster. The hand speed difference is very evident here in round 5.
Romero able to duck underneath that.
Beautiful knee.
Faked the right hand, came up the middle of the ring.
Oh, he tagged him. He's hurt.
Whitaker now circling out of harm's way. Oh, big left for Romero. You can feel the tension here inside the T-Mobile Arena.
Boy, Whitaker still has to be smart here. He cannot get greedy. Stay on the outside, get in and get out.
Big, deep breaths for Yoel Romero. He tagged him again with that right hand. He's got a cut over his right eye, excuse me, his left eye.
Romero's pushing here, though. He knows he's got to win here, man. He's throwing some heavy strikes now.
He is so tired. Ooh, good front kick to the body.
Whitaker able to get the guard up to block that head kick. 3.5 minutes now to go.
Whitaker's tired as well. You can see it. A lot of good feints by Whitaker.
Yeah. These punches are just getting slower and slower for Romero.
Good front kick again.
I love the body work from Whitaker right now. If I'm in his corner and scream and attack the body.
Again.
Cut on Reds, get to a knee.
Oh! That front kick to the body's money. Boy, both of these men exhausted.
Romero has been cut twice in this round, once courtesy of a knee.
This really is who wants it most. These guys are beat down.
It is all that clinch work. Rounds 1 and 2, there was a lot of clinching, a lot of digging for underhooks. Man, that is so fatiguing. And these guys actually accepted this on 6 weeks' notice. Vice, the typical 2 months you get to prepare for a fight.
And Whitaker less than 3 months removed from the win over Jacare Souza, again attacking with that kick to the body. These will be a long 2+ minutes.
He just peeked at the clock as well.
Romero on the counter. Once again, Whitaker gets that right hand up. He circles away from that power left of the soldier of God, Yoel Romero.
Boy, and there's no head movement. I mean, Romero right now is an easy target to find. It's just key for Whitaker.
Romero takes a shot so well, though. I mean, he's got an iron chin. The only guy that ever really stunned him in the octagon is Tim Kennedy. Look at this.
Huge.
Whitaker on top.
Whitaker. You just don't know if Romero has the energy to get back to his feet at this point.
This could be it right here. If he can keep him down here, and for Romero, it's imperative that he just, whatever he's got in him, he's got to explode and get back up to his feet or try to reverse the position.
And he's not even picking his feet up off the mat at this point.
Less than a minute to go. You can be sure Whitaker's going to try to stay active here. Elbows to the body. Total strike picture there, round by round. A big fifth thus far for Robert Whitaker.
Zero attempt from Romero to get back to his feet right now.
Well, if Whitaker could close the round here on the ground, it could be huge for him in what has been a closely contested championship fight.
Look at this, stepping over, full mount, lost it, half guard.
Oh! One of those opened up a nasty cut.
All these in the back of the head, that's why Big John ripped his hand away.
Nasty elbows by Whitaker. Romero trying to get to full guard, can't make it. Trying to get back up to his feet.
Outstanding groundwork from Whitaker down the stretch. Stand and cheer, ladies and gentlemen. Robert Whitaker and Yoel Romero go the distance in this UFC Interim Middleweight Championship fight tonight in Las Vegas.
Wow.
Both fighters seem to think they have done enough.
What do you think, Brian Stan?
You know, I feel like Robert Whitaker did enough to win the last 3 rounds. Thought he dropped the first 2, but you know, you just never know. Just like the co-main event.
Yeah, I agree with you, and I would like to see the better scoring system in place for these championship fights. But I agree with you. I think Whitaker did enough in the last 3 rounds, and clearly Yoel Romero conserving his energy.
Let's get to the fight replay, brought to you by Budweiser. This Bud's for you.
And this is that front leg side kick. And there's the hook kick. There's a takedown by Romero. front kick to the body by Whitaker. Very interesting.
It's an all-around and very, very smart approach by Robert Whitaker. I just don't think gets enough credit for his fight IQ.
Well, if the judges agree with you guys, Australia, New Zealand, they will have their first UFC champion. Michael Bisping and Yoel Romero getting into it a little bit. Hopefully cooler heads will prevail here.
Bisping and cool head don't typically go decisions.
That is fair. The official decision brought to you by Metro PCS, who brings you closer than ever to the UFC on a fast nationwide 4G LTE network. Bruce Buffer now to tell you who won the UFC's interim middleweight title.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 5 rounds, we go to the judges' scorecards for decision. All 3 judges score this contest 48-47 for the winner by unanimous decision and new interim UFC middleweight champion of the world, Robert the Reaper Whitaker!
I'm here with the new interim middleweight champion of the world, Robert Whitaker. First of all, Robert, how does it feel to hear that?
Oh my God. That was... Wait, what was this? Okay, where was I?
How does it feel?
Yeah, that was the most agonizing 15 seconds announcement I've ever had. It was tooth and nail there, but it's unbelievable.
Robert, early in the first round, he threw a side kick to your thigh that hyperextended your knee. Let's take a look at it. You went back to your corner and you said, my knee is fucked.
Yeah, that was politely putting it. I sustained an injury earlier in the camp and I thought it'd be 100% by now, and then the bastard kicks it and it set it back weeks.
Well, you did a fantastic job of hiding it. We were just noticing a small hitch in your gait, and then you went back to your corner and talked about it, but you never stopped throwing kicks, and you never stopped moving forward.
With a guy like Yoel Romero, he sees weakness, he'll capitalize on every time he can. I'm surprised he didn't kick it more. It was definitely impacting my game. I was trying to establish a solid jab, and it's hard when your lead leg's bum.
Now, was the leg unstable, or was it just hurting?
It was unstable. I reckon if he would have got a good one, another one, I would have dropped. It was pretty bad, but you know, champions made of this stuff.
Champions are made of that, and you are a champion now, sir. And now, the most important fight will happen now. You will now face Michael Bisping for the undisputed middleweight title. Give us your thoughts on that.
Listen, we were destined to fight, mate. I think it's fate. We were destined to fight, mate. I think it's fate. It really is. I'm happy to keep your seat warm until you're better. Give me a breather and we'll give it a good crack, yeah?
First of all, Robert, that was an awesome fight. Romero, well done. I wanted to come here and talk a lot of shit, but it was an awesome fight. But the fact that you're standing there with that fucking belt on like you're a champion makes me sick. You should be ashamed of yourself. Here, take that, fight me for it. I'll see you soon, motherfucker.
Hey, can I keep that?
Dana White grabbed that thing very, very quickly. What are your thoughts on Michael Bisping as a champion and how you two match up?
I think he's the champ. I think he's the champ for a reason. He's been in the sport for a hell of a long time. He's a veteran in the sport, and he's a tough opponent. I'm absolutely honored to fight him. He got disgusted when I was holding the belt. If it came in a necklace, I'd wear it. But, you know, here I am. This is the belt for #1 contender, and me and him are destined to fight, mate.
Robert, congratulations on a fantastic performance. It was an honor to call the fight. You are the new interim champion. Congratulations, sir. Robert Whitaker, ladies and gentlemen. I'm here with Yoel Romero. Yoel, give us your thoughts on the fight. Did you think that you had done enough to win the decision?
Dímelo, brother.
I said, give us your thoughts on the fight. Did you think you did enough to win the decision?
Claro, tu pensamiento en la pelea, ¿crees que hiciste suficiente para ganar la decisión?
It's a very close fight, Joe. I am honest. It's a very, very close. Si los jueces dijeron que ganó él, pues se la dieron a él.
If the judges say that he got it, but it was a real close fight.
Did you realize that you had hurt his knee badly in the first round?
¿Te diste cuenta que le habías lastimado la rodilla gravemente en el primer round?
Sí. Sé que que le había hecho daño y estaba esperando mi momento. Pero bueno, hay veces que Dios sabe por qué permite las cosas y si perdí la pelea, pues bendecido también sea el Señor.
Yeah, I knew I hurt his knee and I was waiting for my moment, but if I lost the fight, God knows why he does this.
Thank you. Le doy gracias a Dios también por esto.
I thank God Almighty for this also.
You are still one of the very best middleweights in the world. Robert Whittaker will now face Michael Bisping for the title. Give us your thoughts on that and where you fit in to the middleweight title picture.
Eres uno de los mejores middleweights en el mundo. Robert Whittaker ahora va a pelear contra Michael Bisping por el título. ¿A dónde es que tú cabes en esa redonda?
Hey, yo estoy aquí, Joe. I am here. Yo no me he ido de aquí. Estoy aquí todavía en la lucha.
I'm here in the struggle. I'm here, Joe.
Never give up.
Never give up, indeed. Thank you very much, sir, for an outstanding fight. We look forward to seeing you in the future. Yoel Romero, ladies and gentlemen.
Those post-fight interviews were brought to you by War for the Planet of the Apes. Winner takes all this Friday, only in theaters. Australia has a UFC champion. His name is Robert Whittaker.
It is absolutely incredible the assault this young man has had on the middleweight division. From Rafael Natal to Derek Brunson to Jacare Souza, now adding Yoel Romero to his list of victims. I am so excited to see him match up with the champion, Michael Bisping. Experience, wisdom, two very intelligent, accurate strikers. Youth versus a real veteran, man, a lot to like in that one.
A lot to like. It's a fantastic matchup, and I just love the way Michael Bisping handled the whole belt situation.
He is phenomenal at, right away, psychologically attacking his opponents and finding a way to insert some doubt into their mind before they face him.
I agree, but I think that Whittaker handled it like a real champion. I think the kid's fantastic. I think what he did tonight was amazing, especially considering damaging his knee so badly in the first rounds. The judges got it right.
Back-to-back, two of the smartest performances by a fighter we've seen in recent memory. His win over Jacare, almost flawless, and here against Romero, after dropping the first two rounds, this kid his fight IQ is through the roof.
And he's only 26, and he's getting better.
And given the fact that, as you mentioned, he just beat Jacare Souza and Yoel Romero back-to-back, he will likely be the betting favorite to beat Michael Bisping when they meet later in 2017. And on that post-fight show, Bisping's on it. Whittaker will probably be on set. You can be sure there will be some more fireworks as those two exchange later tonight. What a wild night of UFC action it has been, as usual, here in Las Vegas. UFC 213 has been brought to you by Harley-Davidson. See your dealer today and learn to ride like some of your favorite UFC fighters with Harley-Davidson Riding Academy. Live your legend. And by Grunt Style. This will defend.
UFC Fight Night on FS1 at a special day and time. Gunnar Nelson, swift, silent, and deadly. Takes on versatile veteran Santiago Ponzinibbio. Plus, hometown hero Joanne Calderwood. And undefeated Cynthia Calvillo. UFC Fight Night on a special day. Sunday, July 16th on FS1.
Well, all you can handle, you're getting a live UFC event the last 4 weekends here in July. It continues next Sunday in Scotland. The main event, Gunnar Nelson trying to keep it going against the also streaking Santiago Ponzinibbio. Killer co-main event as well, Jojo Calderwood taking on the still undefeated Cynthia Calvillo. Main card, 3 p.m. Eastern next Sunday on FS1. Here's what's coming up inside the Octagon. On Tuesday, the Dana White Tuesday Night Contender Series begins at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. The featured bout at featherweight pits Matt Bessette against Kurt Holobaugh. It is the ultimate job interview, and it's only on UFCFightPass.com. Next Sunday, Gunnar Nelson seeks a third straight win against another surging contender, Santiago Ponzinibbio. The main card from Scotland gets going at 3 p.m. Eastern, only on FS1. On Saturday, July 22nd, Fox UFC Fight Night features Chris Weidman versus Kelvin Gastelum. The Long Island main card begins at 8 p.m. in the East, 5 p.m. in the West. That is only on Fox. And the next time you'll see the Octagon on pay-per-view will be for UFC 214 from Anaheim, California. Daniel Cormier faces John Jones for the undisputed UFC Light Heavyweight Championship. Plus, Tyron Woodley and Damian Maia battle for the welterweight gold, and Cyborg faces Tanya Evinger for the women's featherweight title. UFC 214, Saturday, July 29th at 10 in the East, 7 in the West, only on pay-per-view. You can watch the UFC 213 post-fight press conference at UFC.com. UFC 213 post-fight show with Karen Bryant, Kenny Florian, Dominic Cruz, Michael Bisping, and Megan Olivi is already underway on FS1. For those of you watching in Canada, you can flip it over to TSN as soon as we're done. Crazy night at the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas. The executive producers of the Ultimate Fighting Championship, UFC President Dana White, Ari Emanuel, and Patrick Weitzel. Our Executive Vice President of Operations and Production is Craig Borsari. Our coordinating producer is Zachary Candido. Tonight's show has been produced by the venerable Bruce Connell and directed by Anthony Pasquale Giordano. Jim Miller and Anthony Showtime Pettis put on a show in the end. It was a successful return to 155 pounds for the former UFC lightweight champion. That set the stage for Curtis Blades and Daniel Omielanchuk. Grueling heavyweight encounter, big knee there, of course, by the pole. But in the end, Curtis Blades reigns supreme and continues his ascent in the UFC heavyweight division. That gave way to the co-main event. The trilogy completed between Alistair Overeem and Fabricio Verdum. Round 3 goes to the Reem, who could take Verdum's spot as the #1 ranked heavyweight contender. And then it was the UFC's interim middleweight championship of the world. 5 grueling rounds. Whitaker fought adversity. He is the first to beat Yoel Romero. He leaves as the interim middleweight champion. With that, for Joe Rogan, Brian Sand, and the rest of the crew, John Anik saying so long from Vegas. We'll see you later this month in Anaheim, California. Good night.